the gates of mighty kingdoms lies a vast, unexplored world. A world of honor. A world of mystery. A world of danger. Warcraft.
4 years have passed since the mortal races banded together and stood united against the might of the Burning Legion. Though Azeroth was saved, the tenuous pact between the Horde and the Alliance has all but evaporated. The drums of war thunder once again.
land of mighty kingdoms. New threats emerge. Ancient alliances are reforged. And an unexplored world awaits. Blizzard Entertainment proudly invites you to experience Warcraft from a whole new perspective. Stake your claim. Live the legend. A world awaits. The world of Warcraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome to the stream. It's a hell of a day, man. It's beautiful outside. The date is April 15th, 2019. We're another week closer, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out today. Have a good stream planned, guys. Let me know if the stream is scuffed, if the music is too loud, if you can hear the music, if you can hear my voice. As you know, I'm prone to having rocky starts here with the streams, but it's a little bit earlier than usual, man. I was itching to stream. I'm starting to really like enjoy streaming, man. Like I look forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Like, you know, this past weekend, man, I was like, man, I can't wait till Monday so I can start streaming again. I was thinking of cool topics that we could go over, and here we are, boys. So we're starting a little bit earlier than usual, about an hour and 15 minutes early. So, you know, I'm kind of like every week trying to push a little bit more, try and stream a little bit more, and it's getting a little bit easier and easier. But it should be a really fun stream, guys. I can't hear the music. It seems like maybe you guys can hear the music. Let me see. Can you hear this beautiful ambience in the background? Hey, Sarmonican, what's up, dude? What's up, everybody? What's up, fam? Man, lots of people hanging out today. Feels good, man. Music is just right. Good. I'm glad you guys hear it. I don't hear it, but it's all good, man. So yeah, it's a little bit early to be drinking, man. But I got the house to myself for a couple days. Wifey, you know, I love her, but she's off doing a conference for like half the week, so we might get a lot of streams, guys. We might do a lot of streaming, a lot of might go full poop sock for a couple days. Some people can hear the music, some people can't. Music is good, fine, that's good. That's good. All right, guys. So this is what we have in store today. We're gonna do another speed leveling workshop. So there's a lot of topics that come to mind that I've been really I've been wanting to get to the bottom of because oftentimes in vanilla stuff is it's so hard to figure stuff out, to be honest, man. Like there's so much going on. So one thing that comes to mind is I really want to go over each class that benefits from both strength and agility and look at how they benefit from strength and agility and get to the bottom of whether you should prioritize stacking strength or agility or even spirit or whatever, what have you, as you go through the leveling process. So this is going to be a leveling focused stream. If you guys have questions related to leveling, if you have really anything at all, I would be so happy and delighted to answer that question. I love leveling. As you guys know, it's probably my favorite part of the game. Nothing wrong with that. If you like leveling, man, that's what does it for you. You like the open world and just that kind of more intimate, environment and just being able to, play solo or play with a friend or something like that. Nothing wrong with that. Man zone, hell yeah. Yeah, dude, I got the bachelor pad. Hey, I'm doing good. Bloodlust, everybody in Twitch. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Zog in the house. Good to see you in here, my man. What is the fastest way to level an alt with the help of a 60? It's a good question. So there is a way that sticks out, and it's called dungeon mob tagging. We'll get into that in a second, though. But as is tradition, guys, I like to get to know you guys a little bit as we start the stream off. It helps break the ice a little bit. Helps me get in the the mode of streaming. Let me know where you guys are coming from in the world today. How's everyone doing, man? Are we from? Tell me what country, what state. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? What are you drinking? Let's have a little bit of discourse back and forth here. I'd appreciate it. Helps get me in the zone. How will you break out from the crowd on release? Oh, I love talking about this stuff. We can talk about this all day, man. We're gonna talk about how to get ahead of the pack, right? What are the different options? What are your different strategies? I can share with you what my plan is as far as leveling, because I'm trying to go full poop sock. As you guys know, I'm trying to really. I'll do a 24-hour stream right off the bat. Then we'll go 18-6 for the first week at least. All right, let's see where you guys are coming from. Quebec, Denmark, Sweden, Spain. Oh, man, makes me so happy. Such an international crowd every day. Oregon, man. Cool, man. Cool. Love it, dude. Love it. Let me crush this beer for you guys. I don't normally drink this early, but you know what? Wifey's out of town. Dude, I'm celebrating today. Bay Area? Hell yeah. For those of you who are in the Discord, man, one of the moderators in there, Mamrick, he's been doing the meme competitions. We do weekly meme competitions, by the way, guys. If you like memes, if you enjoy memes, we're trying to, have kind of a fun, lighthearted channel in the Discord for just looking at classic WoW memes. And every week we're going to give away shirts and swag and stuff like that. So if you have any cool homebrew memes or even just ones that you found, throw them in the Discord. And then every week during Good Morning Azeroth, we'll give away some shirts and stuff like that. So, but anyway, Mamrick was over. Last night he came over. He drove all the way from LA. And we were hanging out playing Halo 2 Legendary split screen multiplayer on some 2001 shit. Or Halo 1, sorry. Halo 1 Custom Edition. So much fun. So much fun. All right. What about trying to balance speed leveling and leveling with friends, whether it be... So this is that's a great question. So one thing that has got me really, really excited about leveling and why I think we're going to have our own meta here is that I used to believe that leveling with friends in a group setting was kind of a meme. It was kind of a thing that casual players did. It was far from optimal, and that getting out there by yourself and questing aggressively and grinding aggressively was the best line of play. And I'm so delighted to report to you guys that I've come full circle on that. And the more and more I'm learning about the game, the more and more obvious it seems to me that duo leveling is probably the sweet spot, but group leveling is an amazing way and probably the optimal way to go through the leveling experience. Now, the hardest part there is finding people that are going to have same schedules with you, right? So I'm hoping to create some resources for the community. So if people are like, yo, I'm a level 37 Warlock, anybody around, anybody want to play, any Paladins out there, and you can link up and level for a couple levels. It doesn't have to be one guy the whole way up to 60, But I love that the hardcore incentive is aligned with the social incentive. And going through this journey, this epic journey of vanilla by yourself, it's really great. Don't worry. Don't get me wrong. I've done it a bunch of times.
Halo and WoW are always sick.
$2 from Brian, dude. Halo and WoW, yes. So Warcraft is my number one. It's my love. best IP of all time, the one that's closest to my heart. But Halo is definitely a close second. I mean, that was an era of gaming. Halo and World of Warcraft, are those the two games that defined our generation of gaming? They could be. Thanks for the two, man. So I love that group leveling. Especially, I can go to this first slide. So we'll start off with this first slide. This is my current position on things. As you guys know, like, I'm just like you guys. I'm very much a student of the game. By no means do I have everything figured out. And I love that. Every day I learn something new. Every day we just tinker around on our little, test servers and figure out new cool stuff. So I love that. This is just my current thinking at this point. But I've shared this slide before. I'll share it again. My view at this point is that the most efficient line of play is to duo level while primarily questing. This questing should be supplemented by grinding between objectives, but there's so much to unpack here, right? So if you're like a really wizard tier player, 200 IQ, know all the quests, right? Questing is going to be probably a higher priority. Not to say like a definitive high priority, but you would value questing a little bit higher. But the less and less experience you have and knowledge of the game, I think grinding quickly catches up as the most viable line of play. Just because you're gonna have so much downtime trying to weave together some sort of plan, weave together the quest if you don't have the knowledge of where they're all at and everything like that. So this is kind of what I'm thinking right now. So, some of these duo leveling comps that are higher mobility, single target type, compositions, like let's say a balanced druid warlock or something like that. That might be more valuable to like a really wizard tier player, but a dual leveling combination that's really good at AoE grinding might be a little bit more accessible to players with not as much knowledge, if that makes sense. Oh, we have a subscription on Twitch Prime. Latula Grande subscribe. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. First live stream I'm joined. Welcome, Marcus, dude. What's up? What's up, everybody? Playing Moonkin in Classic, dude. That's the great thing about duo leveling, though. It takes classes that. Cheers, man. Salute, everybody. Salute. Cheers. Nostrovia. What do they say in Russia, man? Probably some Russians in the house, right? That's the great thing about duo leveling. You can take classes and specs, well, not classes, but specializations that are normally like meme specs, normally, have a very difficult time, trying to level as them, like, e.g. Balance or Arcane Mage, things like this. And you put them in the environment, or even just like the Paladin class as a whole, or the Warrior class as a whole, they struggle leveling, but you put them in a duo leveling environment, and they move from being some of the worst to some of the cream of the crop. Warrior's a great example of this. So that's another thing I really find fascinating, and I just enjoy so much about the duo leveling dynamic. Also, man, just leveling with one other person together it's just a lot of fun. Nazdarovia for health. Cool, man. Salute, guys. Cheers. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Maybe 10 a.m. here, but 5 o'clock somewhere. That's good enough for me. My take on it. If you aren't a wizard tier player, but somewhere in between, you go along questing for gear, bonus XP, and when you find mobs that are easy for your class to farm, you stick around for some time. Yeah, that's a general good rule of thumb, right? Like, when in doubt, grind. If you feel like you're behind, if you feel like you don't know what's going on, if you feel a little bit confused, because it's very easy to feel confused in Classic, right? You don't know where the next quests are. Let's say that you're feeling like the mobs are a little bit too strong for you, you're having a hard time taking them out. Just, put on a podcast, put on an audio book, find a little corner and grind out for a level or two, man, and just have that in your back pocket no matter what class you're playing to try and catch up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you see what I'm saying, right? If you don't know where all the quests are at, grinding is going to be more valuable. And that's I've learned about a lot of the quests recently. In the past 3-4 months, I've learned in preparation for Classic. I've been going to the zones and looking at all the quests in the zones and trying to weave them together. But, like back during Zethker and back during these earlier servers, I didn't really have that advanced knowledge of a lot of these quests, so I would just grind. As a hunter, I would just find an area with low armor mobs, fill my bags up with arrows, man. I wouldn't even loot those things, man, and I would just grind. I would just monitor the XP per hour. So that's, when in doubt, grind, man. When in doubt, grind her out. I love that. That's a great one. Indeed, my man. Welcome, Old School Mark, dude. First time to the channel. Got some more Twitch Prime subs.
When in doubt, grind her out.
Voximus, dude, welcome to the channel. You are amongst friends here, man. This is one hell of a community. Best gaming community on the planet right here, man. Welcome, man. Thank you for joining the channel, giving the channel a shot. All right, so yeah, quest. I mean, these are all gross generalizations. That's one of the coolest things about vanilla WoW, though. Across any axis, it could be PvP, Do you guys agree with this? Let me try and state it in like the clearest way possible. So what are the main aspects of the game? If you had to break Classic WoW up into categories, it would probably be PvP, PvE, leveling, and gold or economy or whatever, right? It'd be another thing. And the awesome thing about Classic WoW is that it's so hard to speak definitively on any one of those about any of the classes or anything like that. There's no real black and white answer. So these are just, take this with a grain of salt, right? It's kind of just a gross generalization, but, the less experience you have, the more and more you'd want to value grinding IMO. That's the first thing we're going to start on. So there's a few things I want to talk about today. Okay, this is a good one. Valley of Trials weapon crate. We can go over strength versus agility. We also have some really hot new duo leveling combinations. So maybe we can start there.
Shaman plus warrior duo, questing or grinding? Farming after 30, right? We have time to pre-plan routes, etc., but want to know what to focus on during plan.
All right, Marcus Pritchett, thank you for the PLN. I'm not sure what that is, man, but thank you very much for it. Shaman and Warrior duo, questing or grinding. So Shaman Warrior, I'm really excited about Shaman Warrior, especially if you're on the Horde side, because they use similar weapons. Like the staff progression is really good in Classic WoW while leveling. So like, for example, a Shaman Warrior, we talked about this last week on stream, and you can bake in that Wailing Caverns run pretty organically because you're already in the Barrens and you're doing the prerequisite quest for Leaders of the Fan. You can pick up your Crescent Staffs. You're very much a single target playstyle up until 30 when you can get Sweeping Strikes. So I would say that, honestly, either or. It's going to be a combination of both. I would just try and quest and grind between quests. You don't have a class combination that is like super god tier at AoE, but it's pretty good at AoE. You're good at dispatching 2-3 mobs with Sweeping Strikes, consecutively. Every 30 seconds you can dispatch 2-3 mobs. So I would primarily quest, maybe like at a 70-30 split, and just grind between objectives. But it is an extremely strong combination. Shaman Warrior is so good. Once you get Wind Fury Totem, it's insane. Yeah, dude. So I just realized I said that, Philip. Yo. Ali Shaman Warrior 2 broken, yeah. Shaman Paladin, best duo leveling combination, man. So anyway, we're going to talk about some of this hot theory crap. So this is a new... we have... How many did I put together? 4? There's 4 new ones that we've been trying over the past couple days, and they're really, really exciting. So the first one I want to talk about is Pally Arcane Mage. So a couple people have asked in the past weeks, they've been asking me, they've been saying, what are your thoughts on Pally Mage? And right off the bat, it didn't seem... it felt a little bit weird to me in the sense that the whole mage, mages have this infinite value loop with being able to Nova stuff down and control the mobs with Blizzard and to not take any damage. And it felt a little bit clunky, the fact that you would have someone holding them in place, consciously taking that damage when you have this improved Blizzard in this whole package. But one thing that really didn't come to mind before was the idea that the mage could go Arcane. So an Arcane Mage, man, this is something you never really hear about when it comes to leveling. It's something that... it definitely has some issues if you were solo. Like, it'd be very, very difficult to level to 60 as an Arcane Mage. But once you have a Paladin that's able to control those mobs for you and secure them down in place and tank them in place, Arcane does some insane AoE damage. Arcane Explosion is likely the most... I mean, it pretty much is, right? The highest DPS spammable AoE spell. So the Paladin is locking them down, Prot Holy Pally, locking them down with Consecration. The Mage is able to very efficiently go in there and take them out. With Arcane Explosion, and some of the deeper Arcane talents are actually provide additional sustain. So we can go into them right now. But this is the first duo leveling combination I want to present to you guys. So yeah, the Mage doesn't have to worry about slowing controlling mobs. The Paladin gets improved Amplify Magic too, guys. Amplify Magic. That is probably a lot of you guys don't even realize what Amplify Magic is, but it's quite an interesting buff you can provide to your party member. Also, Arcane Power shares the CD with Blessing of Protection. You also have stuff like cool little plays like, Presence of Mind, Flame Strike, Clear Cast Fishing while the Pally pulls. And just to give you guys a perspective, when we were testing this for the past couple days, we were like 44 or so. Oh, 46 rather. And we were able to sustain 100k XP an hour, in a really tier 1 AoE grinding location, the Pirates and Tanaris, if you guys are pretty familiar with that, right? So we were in in that area, uncontested, so take it for whatever you think it's worth, but we were able to sustain over 100k XP an hour easily. This is crazy, man. This is really good, really, really good. So I'm going to take you through the talents now, and we'll break it down a little bit. Okay, Classic DB, talents, Mage. Speed leveling. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's kind of one of the same, though. You're saying this is, I thought this was speed leveling, not duo leveling. You know, just to be clear, my position on it is that duo leveling is the optimal line of play it's just the optimal line of play. And it becomes increasingly more optimal the less knowledge you have of the game. So there is a line of play where if you were like super good at the, you know, super good, way better player than myself or any people I've been testing with, and you're like a mage or a hunter, you know, it's possible you go out there and you just crush it solo. But I really do believe for the vast majority of players and the vast majority of classes, maybe only with the exclusion of hunter, duo leveling is the optimal line of play. It's not only the most fun and social, but the most efficient as well. So here we go. Let me zoom in onto this tree so you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay. All right. So Arcane Mage, guys. I don't know what your initial thoughts are on this, but this is how we would build out the mage. So you may want to initially go, you know, frost up to a certain level, then maybe respec, but eventually you're going to end up in a position like this. You're going to pick up these 2 talents here in Arcane, pretty standard stuff. Go 5 out of 5 Arcane Concentration. And you're going to pick up 3 points in Improved Arcane Explosion. This is already like a really good talent, right? Increase the critical strike chance of your Arcane Explosion by an additional 6%. So Paladins are going to pick up Consecration at 20, and you have Arcane Explosion. You get it at 14, so you're probably not going to be doing any AoE grinding until, at minimum, the Paladin gets Consecration, and you have Improved until the Paladin's 20, right? So up until 20, you may want to go Frost up until that point. But anyway, so after Improved Arcane Explosion, you're going to go 2 out of 2 into Magic Attunement. This is a really interesting talent that, you know, really is a testament to how cool group leveling is, because you can invest points into weird stuff you would normally never even consider. So this increases the effect of Amplify Magic and Dampen Magic spells by 50%. So the thing, if you're going to AoE grind, you know, what's a commonality you see across a lot of the AoE grinding locations? There's not a lot of spell damage coming in, right? There's usually a lot of physical damage dealing mobs that you're able to control, that are in melee range, attacking, swinging. So picking this up, you're not really going to get a lot of downside to buffing your pally with Amplify Magic. So this is going to help their healing, and they're going to have 100% pushback resistance to while casting heals through their, I think it's called Spiritual Guidance or whatever, like that tier 2 holy talent. So being able to give them this, and they can also potentially have a Blessing of Light on them, will make the healing just hyper efficient, and something that is really quite good. You can buff it on yourself as well, so the Paladin can just heal you a little bit better as well. Then after 2 out of 2 Magic Attunement, you can go into Arcane Meditation. This is just a phenomenal talent as well. So some of these deeper Arcane talents, as you're going to see, really help with the sustain aspect of AoE grinding. You know, it's going to be you're going to be able to sustain a lot better than you would think, comparatively to how fast you kill the stuff. So the thing is, like, yes, you can do it. We're going to get into a Frost Mage Pally as well. That was another thing. That was another consideration. It's a little bit safer overall. If you were to go Frost and level with the Pally, it's a little bit safer. And there are some benefits, like you have some oh shit buttons like Ice Block. You have some reduced threat with Frost Channeling, so it's a little bit easier, a little bit more accessible, a little bit safer, but it does not kill nearly as fast as Arcane. Arcane kills so fast, man. All right, so after 3 out of 3 Arcane Meditation, you could go into Improved Mana Shield, Presence of Mind, Arcane Resilience, Arcane Stability, and then you can move into Arcane Power. So Arcane Power is sick, man. When activated, your spells deal 30% more damage while costing 30% more mana to cast. But you're going to kill stuff so quick. So what you can do is the Pallies, you can round up a ton of mobs. And, you know, the mage just knows he's going to take an L. He's going to get threat. You can bop him. He can Arcane Power and just, you know, freely Arcane Explosion. And they will die in just a couple globals. Are there any good leveling duos with a rogue? Absolutely. There's some really good ones. And this is something that I learned in the past 2 weeks. Again, like, this game has still surprised me with new stuff. And pretty much if you're gonna duo level as a rogue, you want to go ambush spec. And it's super elegant. Every talent point that you're investing is going to give you a lot of impact. And it's really, really fun. So the #1 top tier rogue duo leveling combination I would recommend is going to be Feral Druid, or just a Druid, right? A Druid rogue. Just being able to pull really efficiently with Feral Fairy Fire and the rogue opening up with ambush. You're going to be globaling mobs all the way up until, like, probably the 40s, the mid 40s, as long as you can keep up with your dagger progression. Hey, Xruz, what's up, dude? Yeah, dude, I actually loaded up a couple of your videos here, Xruz. We're going to look over some cool speed leveling videos in a little bit. But, guys, Xruz is in the house. He's a really, really good leveler on, what was that one? Nether Guard or whatever. You were #1 for a little while, up until like 20 or something like that. That's really, really cool, man. It's good to see you in the house, dude. Okay. We got some more Twitch Prime subs. Here we go. Who we got? Sarmonican, dude. Converted from a Twitch Prime to a tier 1 sub. Thank you very much, Sarmonican, dude. And another one, Chaos58, subscribe to a Twitch Prime. Thank you. Welcome to the channel, guys. You are amongst friends. Appreciate you giving it a shot. All right. So this is pretty much this is one option. You can go down to Arcane and get these deep Arcane talents. Another option, if you're going to level as a Pally, real quick, and then we can move on to the next one, is that you can go Frost down to Frost channeling first. So you put a couple into Frost Bolt, Elemental Precision, Nova, Permafrost. Then you can get, you can make a decision between Cold Snap or Blizzard. I mean, you don't need to value the survival talents as highly because you are with a duo, so you might want to immediately just go into a Blizzard or something like that. It's really your call. But you're going to go down to Frost Channeling, and that's pretty much it. You can pick up a Piercing Ice as well if you want. And then you're going to go into Arcane and go down pretty much to Arcane Meditation. So this is a little bit more of a conservative build, still very, very strong. There's some benefits to going as Frost as a mage in the sense that, like, if you are dropping blizzards on the mobs and they run away, for example, you know, like they start getting really low, a lot of these humanoid mobs will start running away. They're going to be running away at a much slower speed, and you can run in there and Arcane Explosion them anyway. Also, you can clear cast fish with rank 1 Blizzard, which is, you know, pretty cool. Unlike Arcane Explosion or Flame Strike, you know, you have a chance to proc clear casting with Blizzard, which is kind of nice. So after 5 out of 5 Arcane Concentration, you can go into Improved Arcane Explosion and make your way down here. And this is pretty much the two different builds you have if you want to go Pally Mage. But yeah, I'll stop there, see if you guys have any questions. No, combat is best spec for leveling. Have 2 swords for the win. If you were solo leveling and you were going to go combat, if you were solo leveling as a rogue, absolutely, I would recommend combat for sure. I mean, it's really, you know, kind of no contest. But I also have seen some rogues like go ambush at least for a little while if they can get good daggers, because especially in the early levels, ambush does so much damage. But yeah, overall combat swords. But we're talking about a duo leveling scenario, and by all means, you can totally, you know, dual level combat swords. There's some inherent accelerations no matter what. Like, you could pick the 2 worst classes and duo level and still experience a lot of the benefits of duo leveling. It's not the type of thing where it's going to be trash. You know, having 2 bodies there is going to help significantly. Hey Samuel, hey Kargoz, greetings from Germany. Welcome, dude. Welcome to the stream. I like that Mage Pally duo. Amplify Magic is dope, and I'll be looking for more uses for it. Absolutely. So let's check it out. Amplify Magic. If you guys don't know what Amplify Magic is, it's a really interesting ability. So we'll look at the one that we get at like 42. So we were trying it around 46. So this is the closest one. I mean, we could look at it at 54 too. We'll look at this one. Okay. Let's see if you guys can see this on stream. I don't know if you can. Let's see. So Amplify Magic, yeah, it looks like you can see it pretty good. All right, so Amplify Magic is a mage spell. It amplifies the magic used against the targeted party member. So like if there's a mob casting like a Frostbolt or Fireball or something at your buddy, he's going to take more damage from that. But if you are AoE grinding, you're normally not going to go into areas where that's going to be much of an issue. And if there is a caster, you may want to start with a sheep or maybe try and snipe that target out first. But pretty much it's also going to increase the healing by up to 150. Now that is a very significant amount. And if you look at one of the blessings that paladins have, Blessing of Light. Let's look at the one you would get around this level. All right. So Blessing of Light is one of the coolest things about Paladin. I love this about Paladins. The fact that you can be any spec and you can throw Blessing of Light on your party and you can downrank your heals and you can pretty much heal no problem. I love that about Paladins. But look at this. Places a blessing on the friendly target, increasing the effect of Holy Light spells on the target by up to 300, and the effect Flash of Light spells using the target by up to 85. So this, in combination with Amplify Magic, will make your healing super, super efficient, if that, guys, makes sense. Yeah, so, yeah, I see someone commenting about front stabbing. So you don't need to front stab if you're in a duo, man. If you have someone who's able to tank the mob for you, you'll be able to reliably be behind the target and using backstab or using ambush. There's no issue. I would max Arcane Focus first as well. Which one is that? Arcane Focus. So this one has really grown on me a lot. Where's Arcane Focus at? Not sure exactly where that is, but there's cool things you can do, like presence of. You can use Palm to do an instant flame strike. It's going to generate some threat for you, but you know that is something that you have access to. You would be shocked at how fast you can kill stuff. I mean, you can literally round up like 15 targets. You know what I mean? 15 targets, and the Paladin immediately throws up Concentration Aura because shit is getting real, and you can just start pre-casting Holy Lights on yourself, and then the Mage might get aggro, and if that's the case, you can bop him, or you can just pre-cast a heal on him as well.
Kargoz, the face of classic WoW.
Damn, dude. John, that's very nice of you, dude. Thank you for the $5, my man. Good to see you in the chat again. Welcome back, dude. But, yeah, I mean, this probably, I mean, guys, aside from Duo Mage, aside from Double Mage, this is probably the best AoE grinding duo leveling combination. I don't know what you guys think about this. I mean, Duo Mage could be the nuts as well, but there's some advantages with Paladin Mage over Double Mage. Like, the pulls are a lot more reliable in the sense that, like, you know, the Paladin's out there super tanky, you know, multiple oh shit buttons, and able to really reliably get that pull off. Much more margin for error, right? It was really a surprisingly cool combination. Like I said before, we were able to sustain about 100k XP per hour at 46 in the Pirate Cove in Tanarus, which is quite cool. Did you already talk about Warrior Shaman? Yeah, we can talk about that, man. Oh, 10% per mob or 10% per cast. So it's 10% per cast, X-Ruse. Unfortunately, yeah. If it was, I mean, you probably know this, right? I mean, if it was 10% per mob and you're able to Arcane Explosion 10 mobs, like, and pretty much guarantee a clear casting, that would be the nuts. You would try an AoE grind with Arcane pretty much the whole way up because clear casting is super valuable. But even still, I mean, in this combination, you would be shocked at how much resources you're ending the fight with. You know what I mean? It felt super good with the Arcane build. And again, it would be a little bit more like accessible and a little bit more. You could make more mistakes if you went like a mixture of Frost and Arcane and picked up some of these deeper Arcane talents. But either way, definitely something to consider if you're going to play a Mage or a Paladin. Either one, you might want to consider pairing up with either or. So we'll move on to the next cool little class combo now. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So next one up is the Paladin. I'll switch it up from Paladins. We've been talking a lot about Paladins. So here's another one. Hunter Druid. So people have been asking me, I get messages almost every day on this of like what to duo level as a Hunter. So Hunters are fantastic just levelers. They're built to level. They really don't have many issues leveling. But I do think if I had to choose another class that would be partnered with a Hunter, it would be a Druid. They have aligned movement speeds from the 20 to 30 bracket, which is really quite nice through the Feline Swiftness and Aspect to the Pack. And you can give the pet improved thorns to further increase its threat. And one of the main accelerators with Druid Hunter is that the Druid can shred from behind. And even if he pulls aggro with shred, you probably only need like 1-2 shreds and the mob's dead. It's a type of thing though where like I wonder, Hunter Druid, I haven't tested it out too much myself, but I wonder if like the single target kill speed is almost too high early. But that may not be a bad thing, you know what I mean? So the Hunter is constantly just looking for the next mob to pull, sending the pet out to engage that target with Bestial Swiftness. The Druid is running up behind it in cat form, shredding it a couple times. And pretty much as the Druid, you'd want to go Feral instead of Balance first because you want to pretty much get Feline Swiftness right on the dot at 20-21 so you can have aligned movement speed with that Hunter. And then you'd go into Balance to get the clear casting, to get Omen of Clarity, and then you'd be shredding, doing your thing. Every time you get a proc, you'd pop out, throw a regrowth on the Hunter's pet. It's pretty cool. Dual Warlock is an interesting one. I'm actually dying to try that one immersion game, and I haven't tried that at all. I think it could be really cool. Great PvP duo as well. Yeah, I could imagine that. I mean, the good thing is they share that movement speed, man. They are very much single target damage dealers, so they're aligned in like their damage win condition. It's not like one is an AoE, an AoE beast with like really high multi-target competency. Like they're both very much that single target, high mobility playstyle. And one of the cool things about this class, about these two, is like, can you imagine how hyper efficiently they would quest and move from objective to objective? Like nothing would stop them, man. Like it would be crazy. I mean, there's some downsides in the sense they do share armor, but there are also some upsides in that too, as we've been discussing the past week, in the sense that you can go potentially do dungeons together with guaranteed quest rewards that are going to benefit both of you and double dip on that sense. But I think this would probably be the best bet for duo leveling if you're going to play Hunter. Now, if you're a druid, I don't know. If I was a druid though, I'd probably want to go with a rogue instead. And it's crazy to think, but I don't know. The druid rogue felt so good. For those of you who haven't tried it, man. My friend and I planned on duo leveling a rogue and warrior together. Any thoughts, tips, and tricks? Yeah, Xrus is in the house. He showed me a video recently of him doing that. Was it 1 to 20 Xrus? It was really cool. I mean, you can kind of do it in the same way that like a feral druid rogue would do it. Yeah, where the warrior's tanking. The warrior's tanking and trying to keep threat on him, and the rogue's behind just backstabbing or ambushing the target. Is it, you know, I don't know. It's you can do it, man. You can definitely do it. You can do it. Duo or triple druid rogue warrior healer. I haven't really done any work on trio leveling. That's something that is to be TBD. Could possibly be good. I'm not sure. Like a lot of the stuff you just actually have to try out and go into the locations with relevant elites or whatever you're gonna do and really just see what the XP per hour benchmarks look like. But I'm interested by trio leveling because, you know, questing, if questing is going to be your primary means of getting XP, and you can do it in a way where you're just questing super efficiently because you have 3 people and you're just knocking them out, and you're relying on questing, you know, heavily, you know, to level. I mean, it could be good, man. It's just something I haven't really explored. Yeah, double rogue is not that great. I would agree with that, Xrus. How would you spec the war in a warlock dual leveling combo? That's a little bit of a clunky one, I have to say. That's one of the ones that stick out to me as kind of bad. I mean, not bad. Don't get me wrong, not bad, but it's hard to find a lot of synergies there. I'd probably use an imp or something, probably as the warlock, just for some extra damage, the buffs. Like you know, maybe a void walker would still be better. It's a little bit of a clunky thing to wrap my head around, warrior warlock. But the way I would spec it out is I would definitely go arms. I would go arms. You don't have a healer, so like if you're leveling as a warrior and you have heals, you might want to consider going Fury early up till 30 and getting some of the stuff that, you know, benefits from being crit, because you will get crit even if you can't sit proc it, and you'll be able to get heals and stuff like that. But since damage mitigation is still like a big concern, I'd probably definitely go arms. But is relying on questing really good for fresh? Surely grinding will be better due to so many people. Yes. No, it'll still be definitely very good. I mean, yeah, definitely. If anything, grinding on fresh is can be kind of a pain depending on where you're at, right? Like a lot of the spots, I mean, a lot of the AoE grinding spots, if you're in the middle of the pack, are going to be contested. They're going to be taken. You may have to rely more so on questing. Fresh. How do you get hit rating if Dire Maul will be delayed? Depends on what class you're talking about. There's ways to do it, man. Do you think it's important to consider a decent PvP team in conjunction with good leveling, combo leveling? Absolutely. No, 100%. I mean, a lot of this advice is tailored towards people that are trying to go full poop sock and get ahead of the curve, and like really, you know, the people who just find that fascinating, really, you know, digging deep and min-maxing the leveling process. But yeah, I mean, especially the more and more, like if you know you only have a certain amount of time to play and you and your partner are aligned and you know you're going to be in STV with a lot of people, I would definitely factor PvP into the mix for sure. Is Paladin Rogue viable? That one would be a little bit clunky. It wouldn't be bad, but it's very much single target. I would still attempt to have the Paladin tank. I don't know if they could reliably tank. They don't have a hard taunt. That's the thing. One of the good things about having a warrior or a druid is they can hard taunt while the rogue can open up with a backstab. It would still be fine. I mean, yeah, it would still be fine. Sup, Kargoz, what's your least favorite class to level and favorite? So rogue would probably be my least favorite, but I've really come around to them recently, and with this whole ambush spec that X-Ray has brought to my attention, I'm liking them a lot more now. Druid, rogue felt incredible, guys. It's something that you really have to just try to believe. Like, you know, especially in those early levels, if you're able to obtain a couple good daggers, like it's funny. Like you'll crack up. Like the mobs just get deleted. You know what I mean? Like the druid will pull them. You'll be in bear form. The rogue opens up from behind him and just ambushes them with fully spec'd into like improved ambush, and they will just get deleted. And it's really quite funny. So my favorite class to level, it's got to be Hunter, man. I mean, Hunter is just my spirit class. Would it be possible to do 40 BM hunters in a raid only using their pets? I have no idea, man. It'd be interesting, though. It'd be interesting. I'd love to see some enhancement shaman tanks and all types of weird stuff. Speed leveling hype. Oh, Mamrick's in the house. What's up, dude? What's up, man? Yeah, so people ask me, you know, what I would recommend if you want to do a level as a hunter, and I would say druid. All right. So let's move on. Let's move away from the comps for a minute now. Let's go into some interesting stuff. I want to see what you guys have to say about this. So there's a few things I want to talk about. The first thing, we can start here, is the benefits of spirit. This is a big mystery, man. People don't know exactly how spirit is going to work on real classic WoW servers. You know what I mean? Some people are saying that, you know, spirit is not going to compound and have this snowball type effect. Also, it appears that like the formula for health regeneration is kind of a mystery. So people aren't like exactly sure how health regeneration works in general. So I want to talk about spirit and see where you guys are at with regard to spirit, because a lot of this stuff I don't really fully have like a conclusion on. So the real like main consideration with spirit is how much is it going to, you know, regen you and save you in that regeneration time. So there's a few things you can do. Pretty much any class in the game can have a spirit set. If you have pieces that have high spirit on them and you pick up while leveling, you can save them and throw them on in between combat or whatever, and ideally swap them out for pieces that have low stamina. Because in classic, when you replace the piece with stamina, you'll lose that health a little bit, right? So ideally you replace a piece with low stamina with something that has high spirit, and you can use them between pulls and get benefit from them. But you know, I don't know if any of you guys have an opinion on this, but warriors benefit the most from spirit. I think that will remain consistent. I don't know exactly to what level it's going to be, but it kind of makes sense in the sense that warriors don't have mana benefits from spirit, right? So like health only benefits from spirit outside of combat, whereas mana, like per the 5-second rule, if you don't use mana while in combat, that regeneration you experience is a function of how much spirit you have. So it's an interesting thing to think. Also, the troll racial, I'm curious to see how that's going to interact. How spirit's going to interact in the early levels versus the late levels, if it's going to be more valuable early and less valuable late. My gut tells me it's going to be more valuable early, considering you're probably going to need additional kill speed in the later levels. Let's see. And also, yeah, the idea if it's going to compound, if it's going to snowball, or if it's going to be strictly additive. Because on the private servers right now, the more spirit you obtain, it has like a compounding effect. Like each additional point will be more valuable than the point before it. Let's see what you guys think. Thoughts on warrior, paladin, rogue trio leveling? Warrior, paladin, rogue. It'd be fine, man. Yeah, it'd be fine. You have all the pieces there. Is it like my favorite trio that comes to mind? Probably not. I'd, probably want 2 warriors instead of the rogue, but yep, tank a spirit on their gear. What do you think about mage warrior? Yeah, mage warrior could work. I mean, mage warrior, again, like not having heals in the most direct sense in combat is a little bit clunky. I mean, it could work though. Like it's the type of thing where like mage rogue, mage warrior, it's a little bit clunky, but you're still, as a warrior, you're bound to get accelerated. Now, I think the mage is gonna take an L there. I don't know. Then you're gonna have a good buddy who's the mage if you're a warrior. But one thing you can do, mage warrior, is that once the warrior gets low, you can duel him and sheep him real quick, and then he could just forfeit the duel out of the sheep, and he'll be able to regenerate health a lot faster than eating food. You'll get like 15% a tick or something like that. I'm just gonna find Kargoz and gank him with my rogue. Oh damn, dude, feels bad, man. Hey, what's up, Irish? What's up, battle buddy? In reality, having spirit gear in your bag will cost a lot of gold or time, because you will either be able to loot less or just have to run back to sell more. It's true. I mean, yeah, the inventory management is definitely a consideration, but you value, like, it's the type of thing where a penny saved is a penny earned, right? I talk about this. I included this slide as well, this little leveling speed equation. The main bottom line takeaway I was trying to, convey with this slide is that if you shave off a second of downtime, it's kind of more or less the same in the grand scheme of things as shaving off a second of kill speed. So, stuff that directly benefits your regeneration, I do value kind of high, right? And I don't know. I still think it would be worth it. I'm definitely going to personally hang on to high spirit pieces and try and throw them on. The only thing is if you don't have like an add-on like Outfitter or something, it could be pretty clunky. So I could see just equipping it and keeping it on. But individual pieces of gear that give you a marginal amount of agility or strength or whatever's going to pertain to you as a class while leveling, they don't move the needle like all that much. Weapons and stuff do way more so. Kargoz is going to roll deep during Classic. Good luck. Yeah. I'm going to have a lot of rogues trying to put a bounty on my head, man. I was telling people, I was joking around saying like I'm only going to move in areas that are flared. Any good duo for Affliction Lock, man? Is there any duo that's not good for an Affliction Lock? Affliction Locks are phenomenal duo levelers. They're really, really good. I mean, any of the healers plus Affliction Lock is fantastic. It's pretty much tier 1 in some capacity. Priest Warlock, Druid Warlock, Shaman Warlock would probably be the one that is my least favorite, but still super good. You can still make it work. I mean, Warlocks are just phenomenal in a duo leveling scenario. Kill speed is better than downtime reduction. You can be more prepared for unforeseen situations mostly. See, that's the thing though. Like, it's gonna depend, right? Like, I don't know, man. It's gonna depend. At different level brackets, like, you know, sometimes you may need that kill speed more because the mobs are really tough, and sometimes the regeneration might be a little more valuable. It's so hard to say decisively, right? It's something I'm really curious about. I think honestly, okay. So when in doubt, I'd say just hang on to those spirit pieces. And when classic launches, as you're leveling, throw them on and see what kind of impact they make. If it's not moving the needle that much, yeah, just vendor them, right? But you know, let's see if spirit does compound. Let's see if it really does, you know, tick you up way more. So the other day we were testing warrior priest. Yeah, it was warrior priest, and my buddy went full spirit gear on his warrior. It wasn't crazy. I mean, it was just like greens with a bunch of spirit on it. And it still felt like his kill speed was good. Didn't really seem like it impacted his kill speed that much. But here's the crazy thing. So in between pulls, you know, as we were just transitioning from target to target, his HP regeneration was like having 3 renews on him. It was literally like having 3 renews ticking on him. My renew is doing 1/3 of his just natural HP regen on a warrior. Again, warrior is the most extreme example. They're going to benefit the most from spirit because they won't get, you know, a mana kind of upside from having spirit. I think that will remain consistent in real classic, but it's something to really think about. Sorry, I just tuned in, but why can't you make a macro that changes your gear from DPS to full spirit? I don't think you can make a macro for it. I mean, maybe you could. It would have to be like a really long-winded macro where you like, you know, do like /equip and link in all your gear individually. I've never messed with that personally. Like just using Outfitter or something like that was what I would do. Me and my friend want to do Priest Mage. How good is that? Priest Mage. Okay, so Priest Mage, it would still be good, but here's the thing. Like, so what role is the priest gonna play? You know what I mean? The mage doesn't really have the dot win condition. Like their win condition is more like AoE grinding. Like if I'm a mage, I'm gonna really be trying to AoE grind. So the priest could like Holy Nova, but that's super kind of mana inefficient. Priest's main benefit is being able to get that spirit tap every mob, you know what I mean? And just move from target to target, getting that spirit tap, the high sustain. The buffs that priests provide are the spirit buff, fortitude. That doesn't directly improve resource regeneration or kill speed. It'd be fine if the mage misplays, the priest could heal him, right? But like, that's assuming the mage is going to misplay. It doesn't immediately stick out to me as some amazing combination, but I could be missing something here. Maybe if the priest goes shadow and you are doing a lot of single target killing stuff and you're not AoE grinding at all and you're just moving from target to target, it could be good. You know, I don't think it would be bad. But look, I played in beta before it went live and number 1 played. Priest Lock seems like a good combo. Yeah, Priest Lock is good. Priest Lock is good for sure. I thought it was the absolute nuts originally. I don't think it's God tier. I think it's tier 1. I think it is really, really good though, man. I mean, just being able to throw up that pain, and just wand stuff pretty much, and finish targets off with Mind Blast or Star Shards or whatever you are as a priest, like really, really good. Your sustain is going to be super high, especially if you get that Spirit Tap. Spirit Tap is like the main reason why you want to do a level with a priest. The sustain it provides is incredible. And one of the reasons why it's so good is you don't necessarily have to interrupt your 5-second rule to get benefit from Spirit Tap. You can just finish stuff off with a wand even, and you can just have your cake and eat it too. You can get that 5-second mana regeneration plus the Spirit Tap regeneration on top of it. Okay. I've gotten up to 14% HP regen per tick out of combat from Spirit as a Troll Warrior around level 30. That's insane, dude. Yeah, so the Troll... Let me see if I can pull it up here. The Troll racial, as you guys know, is a benefit... is in combat health regeneration, right? So you regenerate health equal to 15% of your stamina every 5 seconds. See, okay, the reason why I included this too is like, what do you guys make of this? I wonder if that's Blizz-like regeneration. I always figured it was kind of spirit-based. But this racial is making it seem like, at least the tooltip is making it seem like it's based on your stamina, which is like a different thing from spirit. So maybe it doesn't benefit from increased spirit, the troll racial. But with that said, you're still getting some sort of HP regen in combat. So, Mothership, new member, dude. Welcome to the channel, man. Welcome. Thanks for joining, dude. I played an Orc Warlock during vanilla. You think that would ruin my chances of getting into raids instead of being an undead? Nah, it does. I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference, man. For real, like, there's so much going on in vanilla with all the different items and consumes and everything you can and everything going on. Also, the idea that your guild is likely gonna have to take who they can get. Like, I really don't think it's gonna be an issue for you. I certainly wouldn't choose. Like with Warlock, with regard to Warlock specifically, I wouldn't let race factor too much into your decision making. Like maybe if you're like a priest or something and you're dealing with Fear Ward, it becomes a little bit more impactful. But as a Warlock, man, just play what you want, man. If I go Warlock, I'm definitely gonna go Orc Warlock. You know, Gul'dan, all that is pretty cool, but the racial is sweet as well for PvP. 718 viewers blown up, man. Yeah, man, we're doing really good today. I got a lot of people in the house hanging out. People are really excited about Classic. Really good. When is the release date? No one knows, man. No one knows. What do you guys think, though? You think we're gonna get one this week? I keep saying that. I keep saying my spidey senses are tingling. Maybe, dude. Like we really are getting close. Like really close to the point where they need to announce this sooner rather than later to give people a little bit of a heads up to prepare. There's a good chance. What's the percentage chance you think we're gonna get a release date this week? I'm gonna say 25%. I think that's pretty high though, right? 25% we get one this week. We're likely going to get a blue post. We've gotten one pretty much every week, sort of. Like one took a little bit over a week because they released it on a Monday, but we pretty much got a blue post every week. 0? Oh my god, dude. People have their expectations set really low. Here, 1 second, be right back. Release date will be announced 2 weeks from now. I'm pretty confident in that. Hey Tina, what's up? Welcome, man. Welcome. They're making hype. They're making hype, so I'm guessing is late this month or early May. Yeah, man. I mean, it's getting to the time though where like if they don't announce it sooner or later, like people aren't gonna have enough time to prepare. It might start negatively impacting them soon. 50-50, 30%, 80%. Damn, dude, you really have high hopes, huh? Yeah, so this whole spirit thing is something I'm really interested in, though. I mean, some classes it's like a no-brainer. Like spirit, like priests are gonna stack spirit, right? They have the spirit tap. It's one of their main benefits. It carries them while leveling. Makes sense, but in the early levels, I feel like spirit is generally more valuable, and in the later levels, it's less valuable as the mobs get super much tougher. Something to keep in mind. All right, so here's probably the juiciest thing we're going to talk about today. It's something I really don't have an answer on, but it started with this guy in the Discord who gave some really interesting feedback. And shout out to Cyray. And the debate I'm thinking about is the benefits of prioritizing strength versus agi while leveling. something I really need a lot of help from you guys on, because nothing is super clear cut to me right now. I'm a little bit confused by this. So we've thought about this a lot while making the leveling guide. So this is not going to pertain to some classes like mages and priests and stuff like this. It's really going to pertain to shamans, to warriors, to druids, to rogues, maybe to paladins. Like if you're playing ret paladin or something like that. But here's like my thought process on it. So for example, like for warriors, we'll take warriors as like the most clear-cut example. If you stack strength while leveling, you're gonna get 2 AP per strength, right? You also get some shield benefit or whatever, shield block, benefit, but I'm not really counting that. I'm just thinking in terms of you get this linear increase in your power level. And the whole thinking up until this point was that in the context of a 15 to 20 second fight, and if you're dual leveling, it might be shorter than that, right? That's another consideration. You could have a shorter window that really like linear power increase doesn't translate very well into having less attacks. You're swinging on a slow swing timer, like 3.5 seconds plus or something like that, right? So to go from 10 hits to kill the mob to 9 hits would take a colossal amount of this attribute like strength or whatever. Whereas Agi, you can at least get lucky and kill stuff really quick. So, if it just procs and you just crit, like not only will you be generating more rage and you also have a damage mitigation aspect to it in the sense that, you're taking less damage, you have more dodge, you have more armor. So there's both an offensive capability and a defensive capability, and also a synergy with your talents. That was the thought process up until this point. Stack Agi over strength. It's the lifeblood of warriors. You may generate more rage. And then this guy raised some really good points. So he kind of mathed it out, and I want to read this to you guys and see what you guys think about this, because it's very, very valid feedback, and I do appreciate this stuff. But this is kind of big. I mean, think about all the people that are going to level warriors and rogues and shamans. Like, this could affect millions of people right now. So this is what he said. Kargoz keeps saying that strength is bad for leveling as warrior, since you need a lot of strength to reduce the amount of hits to kill a mob by 1. But the amount of hits needed is a distribution and not a set number. I looked at a level 35 warrior with 60 strength from gear against a mob with 1,944 HP and 0 armor, which should be the same effective HP. Oh, never mind, ignore that. I only looked at auto attacks. Most yellow attacks scale with attack power and ignored miss, parry, and dodge. An auto attack does 218 to 270 damage. A crit can do up to 540. If you are super unlucky, never critting, and rolling the lowest damage, you would need 8.9 to 9 hits to kill the mob. If you are really lucky, you will need 3.6 to 4 crits. Got it. Hold on. Let me try and get to the TLDR of this right now. Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay. TLDR. Listen to this TLDR, guys. As a warrior, strength beats agility if you don't have the flurry talent. For agility to be better than strength, you need either flurry or a really big weapon plus lots of AP, which you probably won't get until max level. What do you guys think about strength versus agility? There's so much to unpack here. Like he posted walls of text here. But Spirit Gear has less armor, Blue Fate? Is that true? I don't know, man. Oh, Infer's in the house. What's up, dude? Welcome, dude. For warriors, weapon progression. Yeah, weapon progression is king. Spirit. You could let's discount. Let's take Spirit out of the equation though. Let's assume that you could throw on Spirit in between pulls, right? Hold on 1 second. Someone's at the door. Anyway, yeah, let's take out Spirit of the equation. Let's think that you can throw in Spirit Gear in between pulls. You don't need it. We're just talking strength versus agility. What do you guys think? Is this Kargo's living room? Nah, this is my man cave, dude. This is my man cave. Can you clip that Discord image? Yeah, I mean, it's a little small for you guys to see, right? I mean, the real debate, think about it, guys. So we can go class by class and look at how these different classes benefit from agility versus strength. But let's pull up Warrior, for example, right now. Let's pull up Warrior. And this is one of the more interesting things. So part of his post was saying that, people say that crit is the lifeblood of warriors. It like activates the whole arms tree. If you're not critting, you're not doing anything as a warrior. And I was very much on board with that. But then he was kind of making the case saying that, your whole crit synergy package comes down to 2 talents, really. It's Deep Wounds and Impale. So he was just measuring the benefit of Deep Wounds and Impale and kind of making the point that these are a little bit overvalued. So let's take a look at them, though. All right, so Deep Wounds Impale, okay, so how a warrior benefits from having agility. Let's think. They get more armor, they get more dodge, so there's defensive properties to it, right? When you crit, you generate more rage. And you have these 2 talents here. Deep Wounds makes your critical strikes cause the opponent to bleed, dealing 60% of your weapon's average damage over 12 seconds. And Impale, increasing the critical strike damage bonus of your abilities in battle, defensive, and berserker stance. How valuable are these in the context of a 15 to 20 second fight, or potentially even less if you're duo leveling? How long is the fight going to last on a mob-to-mob basis if you have someone behind you accelerating your damage or doing damage or whatever? Maybe we're looking at like an 8 to 12 second fight or something like that. Agi for if... Let me see, there's a lot of messages. At level 60, right? I'm not... But let's think in the context of leveling, man. Let's think in the context of leveling. How do you think release will go? Are you starting a guild or joining one early? Yeah, I'm starting one in collaboration with a couple other communities like Def Camp Melderon and a few people that you see me making content with. We're all going to roll together on the same server. Some people aren't going to be in the same guild, but we're all going to roll in the same server, like Dokken, which is I'm pretty excited for. If you have Agi and crit them a bunch, you won't fight them for long. That's the thing. I mean, the thinking was that it's hard to get consistent value from strength in like a short fight. If it's a short fight, it would take a colossal amount of that attribute to go from 10 hits to 9 hits to kill them, whereas you could just get lucky with a crit, and then you're at least getting good value from that attribute. Does Deep Wounds get the new damage added to the dot like Combustion, or does it just get refreshed and overridden? Oh, good question. So that's a great question, Matt. I think it overrides it, right? I think it overrides it. In terms of speed leveling, what duo has the best synergy? There's a lot of ones that have great synergy, man. There's so many, dude. There's, all the god tier ones have great synergy. Double Mage, Warrior Shaman, Rogue Druid, Priest Warlock, Druid Warlock, Warlock Paladin. Lots of them, man. Like, it's hard to just say one has the most synergy, but many. There are 9 classes in the game, 3 specs per class, and a bunch of ways you can play each spec, and a different and pretty much a limitless amount of ways you can acquire the talents in different orders of operation. So it's overridden, right? Yeah. Duo leveling would be great, but I just don't know how many people will be able to do this. It sounds fun and amazing, but I feel not many people have schedules that line up. That's a really good piece of feedback, Epsi. So I agree, man. That's the main pain point, right? But what if there's resources out there that, let's say you're of whatever level, you're in Stranglethorn Vale, you're in Hillsbrad, you're in Tanarus or something like that, and you can go to an area like a forum or a Discord channel and find people of your level, or you can just do /who. And if people have that mindset where it's good to collaborate and there will be accelerations to duo leveling, you don't necessarily have to have one partner, but if you see someone and they're a class that synergizes well with your talent, you can party up with them, group up with them, and do a few quests with them. And I think that will also promote a better sense of community too. When people feel like the incentive to be efficient and the incentive to be social are kind of aligned, and they don't feel like they're shooting themselves in the foot. Because I think a lot of people, as they're leveling, they think like, oh, I don't want to group up because I don't want to lose XP, right? I think a lot of people feel that way. But if they were to come around to the idea that it actually could accelerate them, I think we're in for a much better gaming experience. Looking for a group, yeah. I mean, but you just like do /who in the zone, man, and find people your level. Go to Discord and post in there. Hey, hello, very interesting stream. Hey, welcome, Stecky. First time seeing you in here. Welcome to the channel, man. Welcome. Yeah, so I mean, we're debating, for those of you that are joining right now. It's a big thing, man. The comparing strength versus agi, and this is a situation that a lot of classes face, because a lot of classes have talents that benefit or get affected by crit. Crit is the main thing. A lot of talents interact with crit. So we're trying to figure out how valuable strength is versus agi. Now, let me read another thing that this guy said. Here we go. Okay. Let me read this. Okay. So he says this. The easiest way to think about crit is seeing it as a multiplier to your base damage, weapon damage plus attack power. When you start as a warrior, you will have really low AP and weapon damage. As a consequence, crit will be a really small damage gain. Is that true? When you start as a warrior, you will have really low attack power and weapon damage. As a consequence, crit will be a really small damage gain. Maybe. Is it because it's based on your base damage of your weapon? Is that why? Anyway, it's okay. He's talking about how it's kind of hard to assign a defense value from agility. I agree with that. Okay, in terms of auto attack damage, agility is way worse than strength. In my example, 10 strength saves 0.4 seconds more than 10 agi if you are not looking at talents. You probably won't have the flurry talent since enraged sitting won't work on classic servers, which leaves us with impale and deep wounds. This is really juicy. You have to keep in mind that both talents scale with agi and strength. Impale. Even if impale did apply to every attack and not only yellow attacks, 10 agi would only gain 0.02 seconds in the race versus 10 strength, but it's still worse than strength. Deep wounds. You need to look at a fight which ends in 7 or less auto attacks since you need to crit to apply the bleed. One full duration bleed is only worth 0.6 of one auto attack. Okay, I could go on and on with this, right? You see what he's getting at, though. There's a chance that we're overvaluing deep wounds and impale, and I just want to make sure like the logic makes sense with you guys. Like, let me see what you guys think, man. There's a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. Because gear also has on-equip stats, agi for stats, on-equip AP. I'm not sure what you mean by that. That is true, but only at the very early levels. So is there a case to be made that strength is better early? I don't know. I mean, and the fights. Also, depending on the fight duration has got to be a consideration, right? I do think that's a consideration. If you're duo leveling someone who's really accelerating your damage, for example, the extreme would be if you were warrior rogue. Okay, you charge in as a warrior, then the rogue opens up with ambush and the mob is dead in like 2 seconds. You know what I mean? That's going to make a difference as opposed to like, you know, if the fight is 15 to 20 seconds. Kargoz, if you dodge an attack, you won't be getting the rage from the damage the mob deals too, and rage is damage. That's true. So agility actually kind of both increases but kind of decreases your rage generation as well because you're getting hit less. But at the same time, you know, obviously it reduces downtime. For this to be at all relevant for leveling, the question shouldn't be strength versus agi, but actually strength scroll versus agi scroll. What do you mean by that? Is it because you have such limited options as far as how to gear and itemize? Is that your point there? Once you get a slow two-handed weapon with high damage, I feel like crit would be better. Yeah, it's interesting. See, like, I don't really have the mathematical skills to, like, calculate all this. If you guys do, if anyone in the chat knows, like, how to go super big brain with the whole strength versus agi comparison, I would really, really appreciate it. It would be very interesting to take a look at. I mean, as of right now, my thinking still kind of stands the same. I kind of would value agility over strength because you have this crit synergy package, because you'll be taking less damage, because the context of the fight isn't a 3-minute fight. It's a 10 to 15 second fight or something like that. But he's really got me thinking here, and it seems like he's done a lot of the math. I wish I could post this. If you go into the Discord, you can see his full post. It's in the Theorycraft channel. It's right under Baron's chat. He posted like a bunch of walls of text, and I messaged him. I'm trying to get with him on this and trying to understand where he's coming from. But all right, so this is what warriors benefit. Let's go to like Druid. Let's see how Druid benefits versus strength versus agility. I also have a slide for Druid, so we can go to that. Slide is okay. So Druids. Where's Druids? Oh, I put it on here. Oh, here we go. Yep, leveling stat priority. Okay. So Druids get 2 AP per point of 1 strength in both cat form and bear form. Okay. So agility's effect on both cat form and bear form is it increases druid's cat form attack power by 1, so not 2 per point of agility. 20 agility is equal to 1% crit and 1% dodge. Okay, so and it doesn't provide attack power in bear form. Okay, so now let's look at the druid talents and see what else they benefit from agility. All right, so I'm pretty sure the only benefits is down here. We'll get down there. I'll do this. Okay, so your Blood Frenzy, your critical strikes from cat form abilities that add combo points will have a 100% chance to add an additional combo point. Now this starts becoming relevant really only at 32 plus. So you have a few levels where you'd want to delay this. You wouldn't get it at 26, which is a consideration because you're really not going to translate this into good value up until at minimum 32. So that's something to really consider because you're not going to get Ferocious Bite till 32. But this definitely does improve, you know, the benefit of agility. But what I would say as well is that if you are duo leveling and you're going to be shredding stuff from behind, you probably won't even have an opportunity to dump all those combo points in if you have 2 people attacking the target. You see what I'm saying? So this is another benefit from agility. What else do they benefit from agility from? Let's see. The attack power. I think that's it. I think that's the only benefit from agility. So what are you guys thinking as far as druids right now? Every 20 points, you get 1% dodge, 1%, what was it? 1% dodge. Let's see. At 20 agility, you get 1% crit and 1% dodge for 20 agility. I mean, the dodge is super valuable. I don't know. See what you guys think. Don't forget that natural weapons and balance. Kargoz? Oh yeah, we're gonna, I'm not forgetting about that. Oh wait, maybe I'm not factoring it in properly though. Hilgor, you might be onto something, dude. Hold on, let me see. Okay, hold on. I see what you're saying. So you're saying that natural weapons, increasing the damage you deal with physical attacks in all forms by 10%. This would affect both strength and agility though. I don't know if agility would benefit more than strength or strength would benefit more than agility. I mean, maybe it'd be the same. I don't know. Like, crit cap and stuff like that isn't really a consideration while leveling, right? So you're probably going to get maximum... You're not going to really get any diminishing returns on your crit. It's hard to compare. I really wish I had some, like, mathematical mind to help me figure this stuff out. But, again, with Druid, it almost seems like they benefit less from agility than I even thought, man. Because Blood Frenzy definitely moves the needle a bit. But if your rotation, if your duo leveling consists of 2 shreds and the mob's dead, you know, getting a crit could potentially overkill the target. I don't know. Man, it's tough. Think about this. During leveling, it is less than 20 ag for dodge. It caps at 20 agility after you hit 60. Okay, yeah, I remember you said that before, Tragnar, so it's something a little bit lower than that. Shadow did indeed prove that at level 60 as a cat druid, agi is better, but this is about leveling, and there could be an argument for strength being better if you're a rogue druid and in bear all the time. Right? Right? That's what I'm saying, man. All I'm saying, I guess the reason why we're having this debate, man, is that I think the thinking might be changing here a little bit. Especially when you factor in duo leveling, especially when you really, like, factor in a short fight duration. Agility gives crit, dodge, AP, and armor, though. Druids can't parry. Yeah, true. I mean, it's going to depend on a lot of things. Are you solo leveling? Are you duo leveling? You know, what level range you're at. I don't know. I see stuff like this, Blood Frenzy, more valuable the later you get. Like in the 50s and stuff, stuff's not going to be dying to 2 shreds anymore, and you are going to have an opportunity to 5 combo point Ferocious Bite. So... Feral Druid 60-40 Agi Strength Split IMO. Yeah. Do you think it's important as of right now and not before Classic for Warriors to have a Spirit set? What I would say is I wouldn't go out of your way to go pick up a bunch of Spirit pieces. Let me check the Twitch real quick. I wouldn't go out of your way to go, like, get a bunch of Spirit pieces and, like, change your leveling route. But what I would say is if greens drop, or if you get quest items, or like even Crescent Staff has a ton of spirit on it, you might want to hold on to that, dude. And ideally, hold on to, you know, replace pieces that have low stamina on them, right? So when you swap into the spirit gear, you'll regen a lot. But then when you swap back to the gear with stamina on it, you'll be missing that chunk of health. So ideally, you want to swap out pieces that have low stamina for pieces with high spirit, if that makes sense. And I would just say hold on to those pieces. You have to get into that mindset anyway as a warrior. You're going to have to carry a lot of stuff in your bag, so just get used to it. Strength is better than Agi easily for most melee classes, at least in TBC it was. I feel you, Tak. That's what I'm thinking, though, man. I feel like, you know, I'm looking at these talents a little bit closer, and I'm wondering, like, because I do plan on duo leveling. So it almost makes me value strength a little bit more. I value stuff where I value things where you get value from it, like every mob. Every mob you engage, you get value from. And now in a duo leveling environment, like stuff like overkilling the mob is definitely more of a concern. All right, so let's go to Shaman. Let's see how they benefit from crit. Maybe we'll learn something here. Offensive spell crits, that's spell crits, okay. So it's Flurry, okay. Flurry, man? Okay, Flurry's a big deal. What do you guys think about this, man? Maybe Shaman? Maybe Shaman values Agi more in a more clear-cut sense? Let's see how Shamans benefit from, crit. So you have Thundering Strikes, increasing your critical strike chance by 5%. Then you have Flurry. So after you crit, your next 3 swings, you know, you have a big, slow weapon, have increased attack speed by 30%. That seems pretty valuable. Flurry is pretty valuable as an enhanced for Shaman. Let's see what else. Increases melee attack power bonus. I guess that's about it. This is really the only talent that benefits from crit, but it's a hell of a talent. What do you guys think? Shaman are the same as warriors. They just get Flurry a little sooner. Yeah, Chris, but I mean, you're not really going to be leveling as Fury in the deeper stages. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I value Sweeping Strikes and Whirlwind and all those things pretty damn highly. So, you know, if I was a warrior, I might go Fury up to 30, but then I would certainly go Arms at that point once I have Sweeping Strikes. So I don't know if they're gonna be able to get Flurry. I mean, think about it. You would go down to, yeah, it's all the way down here. You wouldn't really be getting it. Flurry seems like a good option if you're dual wielding. I don't know if it's worth to spec Flurry and two-hand. You're saying as a warrior, man? Yeah, I probably wouldn't be dual wielding as a warrior while leveling. They just have too high of a miss chance. If you are one hand and shield enhancement, that strength increases your block by a lot. True, but I wouldn't be that. However, Spirit is insanely OP on Shaman while leveling, so it's hard to balance. Yeah, no, it's something to consider. So it seems like all these classes that we're looking at. Let me see if I'm missing one. Okay, we're missing Rogue. Okay. That is a legit consideration. Let's look at Rogue, and we could look at Hunter too. Hunter benefits from it as well, and kind of Paladin. Man, this affects a lot of classes. It affects Druid. It affects Hunter, Paladin, Rogue, Shaman, Warrior. The majority of classes are going to have to come to this kind of itemization decision while leveling, strength versus agility. I think crit's kind of important, man, as a Rogue. If you're going to go for this duo ambush spec where it's all about crit, at the same time, you're going to get a lot of diminishing returns potentially with crit. Like, I feel like you would reach this crit cap, obviously, right? Like, imagine with all these crit talents, how much crit you have. But check this out. We have all this stuff. It's going to be... Hold on. Another 5 there. So pretty much between everything, you have 45% on ambush from here. Another 5% from daggers here. So you're at 50. Another 5% from malice. You're at 55. And then another 40 from remorseless attacks. You know, if you have this buff active, which you should try and maintain. So that is, sorry, I lost track. 45, 50, 55 plus 40. You're at 95%. But then you also have 5% base crit. So you're at 100. I don't know if it works like that, though, right? Is crit additive like that? It just goes up to 100. I feel like you would still be missing. I feel like you would still occasionally not be critting. I think there is some kind of crit cap here. Is it a bad idea as a leveling druid to go straight for Omen of Clarity after Feline Swiftness? No, dude. Honestly, that's legit. Like, so one thing I was thinking about, you're only as fast as your weakest link, right? So if you are duo leveling as, let's say, Druid Warlock, You could still find benefit from getting feline swiftness. You know what I mean? There would be some way to get value from it. But if the warlock's moving around like a potato, what do you need feline swiftness for, man? You're only as fast as your weakest link, right? So if I was dual leveling with a warlock as druid, I would totally rush Omen of Clarity immediately. Because Omen of Clarity is your priority. You just want to try and get as many shots at it so you can keep hitting them with the regrowth, the fat regrowth. I would even go this before feline swiftness. I don't even know if I would go feline swiftness. Maybe you would eventually. Yeah. Kargoz is going to be stacking strength on his rogue. Oh, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, so rogue is not going to benefit from strength, right? So I guess you just stack agi. What else could you get, though? I mean, rogues don't get any AP from strength, right? 0? Do they get 1? Is it 1 or 0? I think it's 0. You don't get as much as a rogue per strength. You still want agi for more crit and dodge. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you were to go this ambush spec, though, there's some kind of crit cap or diminishing returns. I feel like the math would work out in some weird wonky way. It's not like some additive thing. Oh, they get 1 AP? Okay, right. So yeah, you could get some strength on a rogue, right? But it seems like agi would just be the way. All right, let me see Hunter. Hunter. I mean, you're going BM, right? So doesn't seem like you get anything that benefits from agi and BM, but at the same time, you're not going to get strength as a hunter. So it's pretty simple. Hunter, you just stack agi and int. Those are the two things I'd want as a hunter. That's pretty much it. So that's the discussion. Keep thinking about it, guys. If anyone has any revelations with regard to strength versus agi, let me know, because that's going to affect a lot of people. It really is. You're going to help. You're going to do the community a big service if you can work on that. A buddy and I are currently testing Hunter Mage. Early game seems really slow, but I feel like once he gets a wand, it's gravy from there. Seems to be difficult. I don't know. Hunter Mage would be one of the clunkier ones. Again, like, you're going to get some benefit, but your win conditions, your damage win conditions are so radically different. Like, Mage is trying to AoE grind a bunch of targets in a really high mob density area. Do so without taking damage. Like, it feels bad when you're single targeting stuff and potentially overkilling stuff too, because the hunter's attacking and the pet's attacking, that your frost bolts may be overkilling the target. You'd find yourself wanding. It seems clunky to my mind, man. But you would still benefit from some accelerations from dual leveling. Keeper of Lore, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you back in the house. If you're pure speed leveling, then yes, swords combat, but ambush spec trumps all the other gameplay by 1,000 miles. You enjoy it's very satisfying, that's for sure. Single target mage might be best in a fresh server environment. Yeah, potentially. Potentially, if your solo is a mage, I don't know though. Here's the thing though. If your solo is a mage, this is what I would do, man. Like, let's say you can't, like, some of the best levelers are just very adaptive as they level, right? So I would still level. Pretty much the only talent that's going to prevent a hard stop towards AoE grinding is this, Frostbite. So you can still solo, single target stuff down, but I still wouldn't get Frostbite, because this is just going to limit your options. And if you're a mage making your way through the open world, you're gonna run into an area where you're gonna think to yourself, oh, this would be a pretty good AoE grinding spot, and you can just execute an AoE pull, right, and just stay there for a little bit. But if you have Frostbite, that's no longer a thing on the table. So I would still go the AoE build and then single target stuff down when needed, and then just be adaptive. And when you see an opportunity to AoE grind, just take it. I like the idea of 2 priests wanding everything to death. Priest wand DPS. What do you guys think? Do you think wands are going to benefit from agility in Real Classic? You think that's Blizz-like? It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that they should. To me, and it seemed like on the demo they weren't benefiting from quivers and stuff too. So I don't know. I don't know if agi is going to affect wands. Pet pulling for AoE could be nice. Healing pet. Yeah. Yes, wands are ranged weapons. They are ranged weapons, but I don't know if they're supposed to benefit from agility. Like, do they benefit from ranged attack power? It was 100% a thing on Classic. Okay, good to know. Hey, Kargoz, for Pally Lock duo leveling AoE grinding comp, what level brackets would you be AoE grinding? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, starting from 20, I would start AoE grinding. Now, the great thing about Pally Warlock is that it is very dynamic. Like, you can play it a bunch of different ways. You're not trapped into AoE grinding. That's the thing. Like, at 20, when the Paladin gets Consecrate and the Warlock gets Rain of Fire, and it's a fresh rank of Consecrate and Rain of Fire, it is disgustingly OP. It is disgustingly OP. Like, we were in Westfall killing the Gnolls, and like one Consecration, one Rain of Fire, all the Gnolls are dead. You're still at like 80% health, 80% mana. As the Paladin, the Warlock has spent like one cast worth. It's really, really insane. But, you're still going to be questing. You're not going to really forsake questing. You're still going to do your quests. And when you're going mob to mob, like, you just change your gameplay style as a Paladin. You start healing the Warlock so he can tap more aggressively and pull more aggressively. And bouncing threat back and forth by bopping him. The mobs come to you, and the bop falls off, goes to him. What about Rogue Warrior Duo? People have been asking me a lot about that. Xers is in here. He did it pretty successfully. It bothers me that you don't have self-heal, but it's good in the sense that you can have some sort of hard taunt if needed, so the Rogue can reliably get backstabs and ambushes off. Thing is, the Warrior would be able to have those threat multipliers in the sense that he could sit in defensive stance. Heroic Strike does generate a lot of threats, so maybe you wouldn't even need to taunt or anything like that, but it could be good. I would just definitely go with the whole backstab ambush spec on the Rogue. Would you mind eventually making a duo Excel chart to show all possible? That's a good idea, Tycon. I'd love to do that, yeah. Hey, Kargoz, what classes do you absolutely gank in the open world? As a hunter? Man, it's really rogues, man. I kind of have a thing against rogues. If I see a rogue out there, I'm going to take him out. Is respecking Conflag bad at 40? I would say it's, yeah, not that optimal. You could find some sort of like single target duo comp or something like that it could be good. Like you could still explore that possibility. I just think the whole Warlock kit with Affliction is so good when it comes to leveling, but it's possible, man. That's stuff that you just have to kind of theory craft and tinker with. If you see a Kargoz out there, you're gonna take them out. You can try, man. If they're red, they're dead. Have you talked about Hunter Druid? Yeah, we talked about that for a little bit at the beginning of the stream. That'd probably be my top choice to level with a Hunter, if you had to do a level as a Hunter. You can give the pet additional threat with improved thorns. You can shred from behind, and 1-2 shreds is probably all you're going to need. Just being able to proc regrowth with Omen of Clarity, throw it up on the pet, getting triple value from the buffs, align movement speeds. It'd be cool. It'd be really smooth sailing. Hunter Druid. Duo leveling requires 2 hardcore dudes that go hard for like the first 3 days. Yeah, I mean, the main downside to duo leveling is that, like you know, someone's gonna usually fall out of the pack. So if you're gonna do it, really try and find someone who's gonna have the same schedule to you and just commit to that and be there with them. But even if someone does fall out of the pack, just being in the mindset of duo leveling being a good thing, you can reach out to other people out in the open world and message them and say, hey man, like, what quest are you on? You want to quest for a little bit together? Like, we can go do this or that. And, it doesn't have to be with the same guy. And if you know what kind of synergies are out there with your class, if you're playing a paladin or a warlock or a shaman, and you know what specs and classes synergize with you, it's a good thing, All right, so we're going to look at some of these videos here. I prepared a bunch of videos, kind of speed leveling videos that are pretty cool. Extras, if you're still in here, I got this one loaded up for you. I was watching this earlier. It was cool. We can start off by this one by Stay Safe. I've never watched this before. It's called Optimal Leveling Group Size in Classic WoW. I'll try and provide some commentary on this. Let's see if you guys can hear this all right as well.
We're going to be talking about optimal group size while leveling in Classic WoW. We're going to go really in-depth and talk about some stuff that I've never really seen discussed before, and I'm also sorry in advance for the Legion footage in the background, but I don't like using other people's footage, and private server footage can result in a DMCA at this point. So optimal group size while leveling. Several variables that impact this, mainly dynamic respawns versus original unaltered vanilla WoW static respawns. And for those of you that don't know what this means, in essence this refers to how quickly monsters are respawning after being killed. One thing we need to understand before moving forward are XP or group XP coefficients. or how much XP each person in the group gets per monster kill. There's a different XP multiplier depending on how many people are in the group.
Oh, he has the accurate
Multipliers can
ones?
be
Let's
seen
see.
right here. Essentially, it is base XP divided by how many people.
One person group. Oh my god, I wonder how we got these. Interesting. Yeah, so at 3 people, you get a multiplier. 1.16. 4 people, 1.3. 5 person, 1.4. Okay. So it's divide. So even though you are getting so in essence, guys, like once you get to 3 people in a group, you will get a benefit. Like you'll get a additional XP per mob, but it's split amongst 3 people, so it kind of ends up being a little bit less.
People are in the group times the multiplier. So if you kill a monster that rewards 100 base XP, you obviously, and you're solo by the way, if you solo kill a monster that rewards 100 base XP, you obviously get all of that XP, 100. If you're in a group of 2 people with 1 other person, both of you get 50 XP. Groups of 1 and 2 people both have a multiplier of 1. If you're in a group of 3 people, each of you gets 30 or 39 XP. 4 people, each of you get 33 XP, and 5 people, each of you would get 28 XP off of that base monster that's worth 100.
So what he's getting at, man, is like mob density becomes much more of an issue. Like, yes, you're going to be killing stuff super efficiently in a 3-person group, but you're going to need the mob density there. There's a couple things you can do to combat this, though. One thing is you can kill elites. So elites award 200% XP, and they take a little bit longer to kill, but if you are killing them efficiently, that solves kind of the mob density problem. One thing I will say, though, is that this is with regard to grinding. If you can find a way to get the XP needed, primarily questing, and yeah, maybe you have to just take a little L, grind a little bit extra whenever you need to. I'd be really curious to see how that all maths out, you know? Like if you can really find a way where 3, 4, 5 of you can quest, and you're tactically choosing quests that are going to be advantageous and easy to do as a group. You know, you don't have to grind necessarily. You can lean more on questing.
Now you might be thinking, because 28 times 5 people in the group is 140 XP, which is obviously greater than 100 of the base value of the monster killed, that would be a good idea to do. I've heard people mention this when advocating for 5-man grinding teams, the idea being that you're essentially generating bonus XP that is otherwise not inherently there. So bigger groups equals bonus XP equals good. Now, there are a couple reasons why this logic is incorrect, and I'll try to explain why. The first and foremost is mob density, or actually lack thereof. Vanilla WoW has dynamic respawns, larger grinding.
Yeah, I think I see what he's getting at here, so it makes sense to me. I think two people is the sweet spot, though. I don't know. I mean, even though you get a big drop off, you know, from 100 to 50, it definitely feels like with a lot of these duo leveling class combinations that you're killing stuff way faster, like so much faster. There's so much less of a concern of dying. You can be so much more aggressive with pulls, and you have so many more defensive options that I mean, and like doing over 100k XP an hour the other day at level 46 in a 2-person group as a paladin and a mage, like you're not gonna be able to do that solo.
Groups could become viable and efficient, but under normal vanilla circumstances, it just isn't. I've found that 3 people is about as large as you would.
All right, let's watch another one. Okay, here's a good video. So a lot of people have been messaging me asking how does paladin AoE grinding work? Like they can't really visualize it, and they're wondering, you know, how does this reflect damage stuff work? So I found a video. It more or less shows it. We can watch this real quick. Cute Faith, what a name.
Yeah, it really sucks that my mouse is there.
See him do a pull. Okay, here we go. So he's probably got a shield spike on. As you see these little damage ticks right here. This is reflect damage coming back at him. This is a pretty small pull though. 2 people. You know, 45. I wouldn't kill stuff that's at this level 2. I'd be killing stuff a little bit lower, but. Kargoz, why not create a buddying system for your guild that will take your time zone schedule into considerations and partner up with someone that will be on whenever you want? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Creating resources for dual leveling would be sweet. It would be really sweet. I think it would help a lot of people. I think it's more fun playing with others that it's part of the game. Absolutely. It's really also a fun way to play, man, too. Not only is it the most efficient, but You know, you have someone else who's going through the leveling journey with you, man. Like, another weird thing that I really like about duo leveling too, this is something that we learned last week as we were doing that dungeon dive. It's another acceleration. You keep finding more and more accelerations for duo leveling. It's that if you can get a quest reward from a dungeon, if you are duo leveling, I think it makes it much more attractive of a proposition to go do that dungeon. You know, a very clear example would be Gravestone Scepter or Crescent Staff from Wailing Caverns, right? Or BFD for the Gravestone Scepter. You know, if both of you are going to benefit from that weapon upgrade, I think it makes it much more advantageous to run that dungeon, right? If you were solo and you had to rely on 4 other strangers to go through this dungeon, it may not be worth your time, and it's only one person benefiting from a massive weapon upgrade. When 2 of you are going to benefit from a massive weapon upgrade, I think it may much more easily reach that point where it's worth doing. Skarm tank is a really... Oh yeah, Skarm's a good guy. I was watching some of his videos the other day. Okay, weird question, but I'm losing my mind over it. I can't see schools of fish in vanilla. I don't think you'll have a problem with that come real classic. You might have something messed up. You might want to just re-download the game or something, man. I think a trio is a good way to level, but 4 or 5 is just too much. I don't know. It depends on so many things, man. It depends on mob type. It depends on if it's elites or regular. That's like I said before, man. There's so many variables when it comes to any scenario in Classic WoW that it's hard to speak definitively. Some people swear by 5-man AoE group leveling. I've never participated in that myself, but imagine if you had a bunch of mages together and you were 5-man grinding elites, and you knew the spots, you knew the pulls. Man, it could be sick. I don't know. I can't really speak on that super confidently. Two-man AoE mage leveling is OP. Yeah, it is really quite strong. And it comes online super early, and its main strength is that you can AoE grind like while questing a lot better than otherwise, you know what I mean? Like one mage can pull stuff to the left, one mage can pull to the right. You can collapse on each other, reach those AoE breakpoints much more easily. You have double Nova, double Cone of Cold, double Cold Snap, double Frost Nova. It is really the nuts. Yeah, that's another thing. Instance grinding. I don't know if that could be good, man. What if you got some crazy cleave 5-man team? I mean, going in and grinding the instances. I know a lot of mages. They level up in Maraudin. They level up in Dire Maul, killing Lashers. That's a viable. That's potentially optimal XP per hour in some of those spots. Yeah. For those of you on Twitch, yeah, those little bubbles on the stream, you can just click down at the bottom and disable them. Sorry about that. I got to work on that. I got to fix that. All right, I mean, you get the idea, man. Honestly, this video doesn't show it that well, but as a paladin, you want to stack reflect damage gear. You may not have access to all of it if you're ahead of the pack, but any kind of shield spike that you can get is going to be really good. Even just an iron shield spike, you need a blacksmith to apply it, and just with that shield spike, you should be able to AoE grind. Throw up Blessing of Sanctuary, Retribution Aura, Righteous Fury, throw down the Consecration, and try and ask a druid for a Thorns buff. Whatever you can get to get more reflect damage, and then you're pretty much going to judge a combination of Seal of Light and use Seal of Wisdom. You can use Seal of Light or Seal of Wisdom depending on what rank you got most recently. You get ranks every 10 levels, so that's a little bit of a bummer. So pretty much depending on whatever one you got most recently, that's the one you're going to be leaning heavier on, and that's how you're going to AoE grind. But that's absolutely how I would level a Paladin in Classic, considering that Sit proccing Reckoning is not going to be a thing anymore. All right. Here's the next thing I want to talk about. So, let me go back to the PowerPoint. One thing I want to pick your mind on Oh, actually, sorry. Before we move on to that, I want to say another consideration. So, like, based on the amount of people you have in your group, 3-man, 4-man, 5-man, 2-man, whatever. Another consideration, like just another layer of icing on the cake that you need to factor into your decision making, is what level the mob is. Because especially in the early levels, you get penalized a lot for killing mobs that are low level than you. Now you can't really see this chart because it's kind of too small to see on the stream. Let me see if I can zoom way in so you can see. Level 1, XP needed 400. Okay, so let me see how this looks on the stream. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, so at the low levels, if you kill a mob that's even 1 level below you, you will be getting 80% XP from that mob. If you kill something that's 2 levels below you, you're getting 60%, 3 levels, 40%. You see how severe this drop-off is. So imagine you're in the starting zone and you're in the Valley of Trials and you're moving your way to go kill imps in the cave, right? Imagine you're just visualize yourself, you're in the Valley of Trials, or let's say you're in Mulgore and you're a Tauren and you're killing Plain Striders, you're moving to that little Razor Fen area. You know, killing a level 1 boar and you're level 3. It's hard to like, it seems super try hard, but you're getting punished a lot. Like you're losing a lot of XP there. So like you'd want to prioritize killing stuff that's a level 2 or a level 3 potentially. And as you level up through the game and get higher level, this drop off becomes less severe. So if you look down, let's look at the other extreme here. At 58. Let's look at 58. So -1 at 58 would be 93.73% to kill something -2. Or -1. -2 would be 87.46. So you're going from 60% to 87.46. 87.46. So that you know, in the latter levels, you're not punished as hard as killing stuff that's lower level. So it may be worth it in the high 50s to kill mobs that are a few levels below, if it's just a more efficient thing, if it feels more efficient to do so. But you pretty much always want to be targeting mobs that are your level, or maybe even 1 level higher. But you can always refer to this chart, and all my guides have this chart on it as well. Hey Kargoz, a friend of mine and I want to level 2 potential healers. What is your recommendation for best leveling combos for 2 healers? I mean, you have some flexibility there, man. 2 healers. I mean, you could go double paladin. Double paladin is pretty sick. You have AoE grinding potential. Single target kill speed is pretty lacking, but double paladin AoE grinding is a lot of fun. You can get pretty sick value from multiple buffs and auras. You could go, you know, Shadow Priest, Druid maybe, you know what I mean? Like, but the Druid would probably be kind of tanking, even though he's a healer. It's hard to understand what you mean exactly by healer. You can go double Shaman. Double Shaman's pretty sweet. You could be double Ellie, casting, you know, lightning bolts and chain lightnings when you get clear casting procs. That's pretty fun. This is not 100% true concerning low levels 1 through 6, for example. How do you mean, Xrus? If you have something specific, man, maybe message me on Discord or put it in here. 2 paladins, 1 grind, double mage. Yeah, double mage is really sweet, I have to say. But yeah, here's another thing I'm curious about, and this is going to factor into my own line of play. I'm curious what you guys think. So have you guys heard of this weapon crate through the hidden path in the Valley of Trials? I'm really trying to flesh out of whether this is worth checking out come Real Classic. So if you're not familiar with this, pretty much the hidden path that shamans use to get that class quest, if you go up it and you jump down, you're actually really close to Ratchet, and there's a waterfall right there in the water, and you can dive down, and there's this weapon crate that you're seeing right here, and you can open it, and if it's there, it will drop a gray, like a level 30 plus gray, which can vendor anywhere from 15 silver to like 50 silver. If you get like a big gray 2-handed axe or something like that, it's like 40 something silver. So that is a lot of money in the early game. but it could not be there. But it's more likely to be there considering you're in a sharded environment. So I'm wondering if you guys think it's worth it. Here's the other factor. You can very quickly go over to Ratchet and pick up the flight path there, but you can't fly to Ratchet from Orgrimmar. You know what I mean? So it'd be the type of thing like you would go to Ratchet, probably run to Crossroads, get the flight path there as well, and then Hearth back to the Valley of Trials. Now I'm struggling to see if this is viable or not, mainly because there's that bridge that goes from Durotar into the Barrens, and that little bridge and outpost area has a couple quests there that you turn in, and you can get some other quests there that you turn into the Crossroads. Also, if you're a warrior, that's where you get defensive stance quests. So I'm wondering what you guys think about this, if you think this is worth it. Opinion on dual boxing to make starting levels go easier. Opinion on dual boxing. What do you guys think, man? Like, there'd probably be some combinations that are pretty conducive towards dual boxing that doesn't require a lot of, APMs from both people. It could be good, man. I mean, like, comparing, I don't know. Here's the thing about dual boxing, though. So, if you're dual boxing, I would want a dungeon mob tag dual box. So you have your other account in the dungeon, and you're gathering up all the mobs on your main. You're dropping group. The lower level one tags it with dynamite or something, then you lock them down and kill them. That's the best dual boxing. That's dungeon mob tagging. That's gonna level you faster than like in anything in the game. So what I'm thinking about right now is it faster to just rush to 60 on one character, get there faster than if you were to try to dual box the whole way, and then go back and start power leveling your character? I think that would be faster, dude, because you can get from like 1 to like 30 in like a day if you dungeon mob tag. You can go right like RFC, Wailing Caverns, or you could go Dead Mines, Stockades all in one day and get your guy to like 30. You automatically have the Org flight path if you're an Orc or Troll. I don't think you do, man. I don't think you can go to Crossroads and fly directly to Orgrimmar. Is that true? I don't think so, man. Oh, I got a message from Xrus. Okay, I'll explain it here. The extra HP the units have on each level early on is a game breaker. From levels 1 through 3, I would always kill a level 1 unit over a level 2 or 3 because I would spend way less time on that unit. When I hit level 4, the goal would be to kill level 2 or 3 mobs. It really depends on what class you play. Absolutely. So this is pertaining back to the whole idea of like what mobs to target. So it's going to depend, like with all things in vanilla World of Warcraft, in Classic WoW, it's going to depend on a ton of variables, what class you're going to play. But some classes are going to be able to dispatch of a mob easier than maybe a rogue Xrus. Like let's say you're a shaman, you're able to just cast a couple lightning bolts. I don't think it's going to be as difficult as other classes. But you're saying that the extra HP on those early mobs is a big deal, huh? Okay. Kargoz Crossroads meet. The Org quest gives you FP to Org from Crossroads. Huh. It's something I'll have to try out, man. That's interesting. So you can pretty much go to Crossroads. So you could pretty much go to the hidden path, go down, get the weapon crate, go to Ratchet, run to Crossroads, and get that quest and fly directly to Org, then Hearth back. I don't know. It still might not be worth it, though. I don't know, man. Because pretty much at that outpost, when you cross the bridge from Durotar into the Barrens, there's that little bridge, right? And there's that little outpost where there's a couple quests there. They actually give pretty substantial XP. You can turn in one Demon Seed quest, and then you get another quest that you turn in at the Crossroads. And skipping that seems like it would be bad. So I don't know if you save a lot of time. The other consideration is that you could save a little bit of time going from Crossroads to Ratchet when you need to go there to turn in quests or whatever, but it's not really that much of a cost savings because you're going to be killing mobs that are productive to your quests en route to Ratchet from Crossroads. You're going to be killing stuff that's going to be, the quest that you need. You can fly straight from Ratchet to Org. No, you can't. You can't fly straight from Ratchet to Org. Yeah, it's huge. You can kill 2 level 1 mobs with the same resources as killing 1 level 3 mob. At what level, though, Xrus? At what level, man? Dual boxing was fine with Blizzard and Vanilla. Yeah, I don't think that's against TOS, right? I think you could dual box if you had 2 accounts that you paid for separately. We'll see. It could be a different beast. I'm gonna test it right now, right on, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Go do it and help us out. Show us what's up. All right, let's talk about another awesome duo leveling combination. So one thing I will talk about Shaman. Let's talk about double Shaman. We could talk about Rogue Druid, Rogue Shaman. I will talk about Shaman for a second. Shaman is cool. So Shaman, it might be the class that has the biggest issue out of all classes, really. I'm thinking right now, dealing with resource expenditure and regeneration. Mana is such a pain point with Shaman. It's so easy to go on a Shaman and to like throw yourself off and have to drink. So recently we've been doing some testing, trying to find a more harmonious balance between spending mana and regenerating it, you know, per the 5-second rule. And one thing that we found, which is quite interesting, is this build, which I will show you on screen right now. So pretty much going elemental and basically fishing for clear cast procs is I do believe is the way. And I think the elemental tree does more for you generally than the enhancement tree as a shaman. At this point, my thinking on this has kind of changed. The clear casting seems to proc all the time, and by fishing I mean using intentionally cheap spells like rank 1 lightning bolt, rank 1 earth shock, just trying to proc this clear casting. So the clear casting will give you a free spell, and then you can use max rank earth shock or chain lightning or whatever. But earth shock won't reset your swing timer, whereas chain lightning will reset your swing timer. So just something to consider. But I think this is the meta of shaman leveling, man. Going alley, dude. Kargoz, shaman mana is true. I had to buy 100 melon juices yesterday just in PvP in Red Ridge for 3 hours. Yeah, shamans struggle with mana, man. Finding someone who wants to duo level with you for several 2 weeks straight, 8+ hours a day, seems to be the hardest obstacle to this entire guide, Kargoz. Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is this, though, man. Like, you can start off with someone, right? Let's say you start off with your buddy Bob. Bob goes hard for the first couple days, and then he gets burned out. And now you're level 35. You know, you can still partner up with people at that point, right? You can do Slash Who, Stranglethorn Veil. You can do Slash Who in your zone. You can go to Discord, ask around, and find someone on your server who's around the same level, and you know what class to look out for, and you can level with them for a couple levels, right? But I think just having the mindset of being in a group is potentially beneficial and more efficient is going to help you. Hey, Atticus, what's up, man? Welcome to stream, dude. Bob sucks. The thing is, you don't even need a dedicated partner. If your guild is dedicated in the same level as you, you're good. Does Searing Magma Totem proc clear casting? No, I don't believe so, man. I know Searing doesn't, so I don't see why Magma would, since they're both totems. But pretty much, the best flow of combat as a shaman while leveling, we found, is to pretty much open up, like, once you have clear casting, you open up with a couple rank 1 lightning bolts, followed by a rank 1 shock. That costs you, like, nothing. You know what I mean? It's very, very cheap. So you might get a clear casting proc there. If you do, you'll use your next Earth Shock max rank and hit him with it, and you'll do like massive damage to the mob. So then the mob is in melee range of you. You have your totems down. You can just proceed to hamstring kite them and refresh your lightning shield and continue to rank 1 shock them to try and fish for that clear casting proc. If you do it that way, you'll end the fight with like 80% mana or so, and that's pretty much as good as it's going to get as a shaman. Just ran from the Valley of Trials direct to Ratchet at level 1. No connected flight paths from there. Cannot fly on ND. Yeah. So that's you can't Oh wait, no, that's not what I'm saying though, Logo. I'm saying if you were to go to Ratchet, then continue to Crossroads. Some guy was saying that the meat quest would give you the ability to fly to Orgrimmar. I don't believe that's the case. If you could try that, that would be sweet. Oh, we got a Twitch Prime sub, man. Who did it? A Supposed Star just subscribed to Twitch Prime, dude. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. Welcome, man. Thank you for the subscription, dude. I'll be playing overseas, so but time will be most people's off time. Yeah. We're gonna have server off times again, boys. Feels good, man. We gotta come up with a new name for hamstring kiting since it's usable on different classes. Yeah, I mean, you can call it earthbind kiting, hamstring kiting, kiting in general. Oh, one person came up with a good name for it. He called it jousting. I think that was Navik who said that, right? He called it jousting. You know, you can imagine the knights on the horses. They like pass each other, and then they line up their little, you know, pole things, and they meet each other and joust. Also, jousting is a mechanic used in some card games and stuff like that. Warrior God tier. Funny enough, we were actually doing some warrior leveling yesterday, and yeah, I mean, charging into 2 separate targets, popping sweeping strikes, and then, you know, cleave whirlwind. I mean, both those targets get absolutely shreked. You don't need the meat quest. You always have your race's capital's flight path, so you can fly directly. You can go from you can go to Ratchet, run to the crossroads, and fly directly to Orgrimmar. Yeah, I mean, even if that were the case, which it seems like it might, seems like a lot of people are saying that, I don't know if it would be optimal to do so. I mean, you're going to be on crossroads at like level 2, and then you're still going to have to quest normally, and then you're going to... The time savings would be like once you get to level 10 or whatever, you could fly directly from Orgrimmar to the crossroads. But what I'm saying is that little bridge that leads from Durotar into the Barrens, there's a lot of quests there. There's a lot of XP to be had there. Warriors have the defensive stance quest that I think that kind of makes it not worth it. I don't know, but it may be worth it. You know, as soon as you load into the server, if you're one of the first ones there and you think you have a decent shot of getting that weapon crate in your shard, it might be worth it just to head down there and check. And then if it's not there, you can just drown yourself to death and respawn back at the Valley of Trials. But the Baron's crate wouldn't be sharded since it's not in the starting zone, so it probably isn't worth it. It's in a gray area, right? It's at that hidden path right by the Valley of Trials. You can jump off into the water, and there's that waterfall there. I don't know. It'd be interesting on like if you're there on launch, and you log in, and it seems like there's like 20 people around you. I would probably check, man, because like imagine getting 40 silver at level 1, dude. That is a big deal. Kargoz is very important for orcs. First 20 minutes, gather 10 silver in grays and run to orc to train skinning. You can skin level 1 boars while you level. Can't you get skinning? Can you get skinning at Razor Hill? I think you get skinning at Razor Hill, man. Can't skin. Yeah, you get professions at level 5 out here. Yeah, good point. Oh, wow. Got some, another Twitch Prime sub. Dankelberg, subscribe with Twitch Prime. They've been subscribed for 2 months, dude. Thank you, dude. Wow. I think you might be my first, like, 2-month sub on Twitch that I've seen, dude. Thank you very much, man. No skinning in Razor Hill. Okay. Yeah. It's a good point. I mean, you can very easily get behind on skinning. You know, if you're already level 10 or whatever and you're in Orgrimmar trading your stuff. Mining in Razor Hill Urban. One thing I will say, it's a good tip, is you're going to be killing a lot of boars and animals, right? Especially in the Valley of Trials, in the starting zones. Like, just save that meat. Don't vendor that meat. You can just send it to an alt or whatever, but that should be all the meat that you get from those very early levels should be more than enough to level your cooking towards, you know, the next ranked journeyman or whatever it is. So definitely consider just saving that boar meat, saving the scorpion meat, saving whatever you get. Kargoz, what are you thinking of doing rating wise come Classic? I think I'm going to stay on a little bit of the more casual end, man. You know, we are starting this kind of brother-sister guild with a few other communities, which I'm really, really excited for, but I would like to do more fun type events. Like if I had to basically raid 5-6 days a week and go super hard, or raid 2-3 times a week and do more fun events and like talk shows and game shows and stuff like that, I think I'd prefer to stay a little bit more down on that casual end. Skinning is amazing for leveling as Hunter, especially. I grinded Beast most of 20 to 60 on Northdale. Yeah, skinning is good. You can sell the skins for supplementary income. Also, if you have an alt with leatherworking, as I discussed in one of my guides, you can send the skins over to your alt. And with leatherworking, as well as tailoring, they can convert all the skins and cloth you get while leveling into greens that you can disenchant and power level your enchanting. Get that greater magic wand. Scorpid meat is higher level? I don't think so. I think you get them, I mean, you just get them from the scorpids, like in Duratar. And one thing that's interesting, look, I'll show you this. I'll show you this little food here called Scorpid, whoops. Scorpid Surprise. Alright, yeah, see this food's Scorpid Surprise? I think you can get it right away. There's no like level requirement or anything like that, but look at it. I mean, 294 healing over 20 seconds. That is insane at the low levels, man. I mean, compare that to like jerky, dude. What is it, tough jerky? Tough jerky is 61.2 health over 18 seconds. This heals for like a disproportionately high amount, 294 damage. That is crazy, man. And you can start making that pretty quick. You know, you can pick it up at I think you get the recipe in org. You just buy it from a vendor. But save that boar meat, man. You'll be able to make Scorpid Surprise early. So just tested this. On Northdale, you can fly from Crossroads to Orgrimmar without any cooking quest from level 1. Now, how is that beneficial to us, though, Richard? Thank you for testing that. I'm thinking right now, like, how would that be good? The time where I think it could be good, let's say if you were a hunter, you didn't need to go do that Warrior Defensive Stance quest. Let's say you got your pet, right? You went, you trained beast training and all that. You're level 10. Maybe you could fly directly to the Crossroads. You could be level 12 or something like that. Maybe you do a few more quests, and then you fly directly to the Crossroads instead of having to walk that whole way. That could be somewhat good, but the main thing you have to consider is that you do get some turn-ins at that bridge, as well as some other quests that lead to more turn-ins at the Crossroads. So if you could find a way to get more XP than that amount, then it could be worth it. However, it costs 1 silver, 10 copper. Yeah, that's kind of a lot at the early levels. Look up Fine Light Crossbow. The crossbow is crazy at level 16. It's basically Lil Timmy's pea shooter. Oh, interesting. Let me look it up. Fine Light Crossbow. 10.7 DPS. Requires level 17. Weapon Merchant. Let me check my Hunter weapon progression here. Where's that? That is this leveling guide. That's another thing though, just a little tip, as you guys are probably, you know, learned this from some of my leveling guides, but some of these early vendor weapons are quite good, especially like the very first ones you get, like even if you're a mage or whatever before you have a wand, buy that staff, man, buy that white staff. If you're a warlock too, like you're gonna be meleeing in those early levels, so just buy the first vendor weapons. Let me see. Progression. Okay. So this requires level 16. Yeah, it's actually not bad. Wow, it's actually not bad. So pretty much you're gonna have like reinforced bow, 7.5 DPS. At level 16. That requires level 16. Holy moly, dude. That's actually really good. 10.7. Yeah, dude, that's a good call. I'm gonna add that actually. I'm gonna maybe add this to my weapon progression. Yeah, I use that for over 10 level sick bow. Yeah, dude, this is pretty sweet. Oh, got some more Twitch Prime subs. Belwa42. Subscribe to Twitch Prime, dude. Welcome. And Mihaz1642 as well. Welcome to the channel, guys. You are amongst friends here. Thank you for giving the channel a shot. Isn't it Razor Hill? And if it's Scorpid meat, not boar meat. You're saying with regard to the Scorpid Surprise? Yeah, you craft that with Scorpid meat. But in order to train up to that level, I'll go back to it, because you need to be 60 to train this. You need to craft a bunch of the boar meats or whatever. So you need to have a certain amount of boar meat, craft it up to 60, train Scorpid Surprise, and then you can start crafting, start making the Scorpid Surprise. Good catch though. No problem. I'll compare it to Lil Timmy's pea shooter. All right, let's try it. I mean, yeah, this seems sick, dude. 36 silver and you get this 10.7 DPS weapon. I love that you can get it reliably too. That's the clutch part. Like stuff that you can get with 100% certainty. Like just go to the weapon vendor and pick this up. So good. Really good price too. Because some of the weapons, like the green weapons that you get in the barons from like the traveling vendors and stuff, like they're over a gold, dude. They're kind of expensive. The fact this is only 36 silver is pretty sick. Let me see, dude. Lil Timmy's pea shooter. Damn, dude. Yeah, you're right. 11.0 DPS, 2.6 weapon, and this is a BOE blue, right? It just drops from all these. Yeah, this is a BOE blue. Nice, man. Yeah, I don't think I have this on my. Let me see. Maybe I do. Oh my god, dude, that's so funny. That's so funny, dude. Yeah, I didn't have a fine light crossbow on there. It's funny. I was literally only tracking bow progression, not crossbow progression. This is a really nice find, man. 36 silver, picking up this 10.7 DPS weapon. Damn. That's Biz Twink weapon. Damn, just a horde thing? No, you can buy this from Horde can only buy it in Undercity. Weirdly enough, that's so cool, man. So you just learn shit every day with Classic WoW, man. If you're Alliance, you can buy it in Stormwind and Ironforge. As a Horde, you have to buy it in Undercity. Man, what a game, dude. What a game we play, guys. What a game, man. There's no damage range on that weapon. God, that's so weird. Is this a bug? Like 29 to 29, so you specifically hit for 29 every time? That could be good, right? Like maybe you wouldn't overkill shit. Let me see Lil Timmy's. $20 to 37. So instead of 20 to 37, like you just hit for a solid 29 each time. That's like just right on the average. 29 consistent. What a weird game we play, guys. What is this item, dude? This white item you buy for 36 silver that's better than Lil Timmy's pea shooter. 29 to 29 damage range. That is funny, dude. Fine light crossbow, 7.4 DPS on Light's Hope. Maybe this is buffed in 1.10. Maybe that's why. They did buff the items eventually. Let me look it up. Wowpedia. So it seems like they're gonna roll out too as well with the final versions of the items. And light crossbow. Looking it up right now. Okay. I'm guessing they don't have a patch where it shows it got oh no, here we go. Added in patch 111. What do you guys make of this, man? Added in 111? Should be there on launch, right? Maybe? They did say that stuff that gets added in one... No, it probably is not going to be there on launch. Because stuff they said that gets introduced later in the game, they will introduce them later in the game, like stuff at 110. But the finalized versions of items, they will keep in the game at launch. It says right now on WoW on Wowhead that it was added in patch 111. So if it was added in 111, it's not going to be there on launch, right? But at the same time, it's a freaking weapon vendor weapon. Like what? Been like that on private servers as long as I can remember. No idea if it was like that on retail. Oh, if you're leveling a hunter as an alt, that's so true. The fact that it's white, dude. I love that about a classic, man. I want to do that with all white weapons this time around, right? How sick is that? You can put like Fiery or Crusader. I think there's some kind of diminishing return on Crusader at the lower levels, right? But putting on Fiery on like white weapons and stuff like that. Put a scope on this. Oh, that's sick, man. Ooh, someone looked it up. That's why I love streaming. People are big brain. Okay, I'm looking at this right now, man. What does it say? What does it say? By this guy. Item history. Yeah, it doesn't really say, man. It said added in 111 for me though on Wowhead. You already decided the class you're gonna play? Not yet. Not yet. It's gonna be Hunter or Warlock. I don't know how I'm gonna make the decision. I'm literally at a point where I don't know how I'm gonna make the decision. If I want to duo level, which I might, man, then it might be Warlock, man, for real. Because duo leveling is just such a fun way to play. It's a way, since I'm going super hard, like it would be a way for someone to keep me accountable, playing, you know, on schedule and vice versa. It's a tough call, man. If I level with a Hunter, I'll just go solo though. Pick Hunter, everyone loves you as a Hunter. I know, man, I know. Flip a coin. I know, dude. Holy moly. Another Twitch Prime sub. Gummy Bear Forever. Subscribe to Twitch Prime. They've subscribed for 2 months. Currently on a 2-month streak. My man. Thank you, man. Thank you for the streak. What's good, Kargoz? You and Mamrick having fun last night? Yeah, we played Halo. We played Halo 1 campaign on Legendary last night. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Wowhead has everything as 111 plus because that's when Wowhead was created. Aha. Okay. It would make sense that this would be there on launch, though, right? It's a vendor weapon. Like, this isn't some... Did Blizzard add additional vendor weapons later in the game? That'd be so bizarre. So if this is sweet, though, man. I'm so glad whoever posted that, man. This is a legendary find right here. This is definitely gonna slip through the cracks as far as weapon progression goes for a lot of guides and stuff. Warlocks are the ultimate wingmans? Hell yeah, they really are. Just phenomenal in a duo, man. Halo 2 is Biss. Halo is my second love behind WoW, I have to say. Yeah. Double Warlock might be an interesting duo leveling comp too. I do want to try that. No problem. Not many people know about it and aren't talking about it. Yeah, it's really true. Some of these white weapons are good, man. Some are trash too, though. Like, some are pretty bad. Like, you look at the wands, right? For some reason, the first wand that you can buy from a vendor is like in the teens, like in the high teens, and it's so much worse than lesser and greater. Hey Billy, yeah, you missed a good amount, man. But we'll be streaming tomorrow as well. Just split the difference and go female gnome rogue. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yep. Female gnome rogue over my dead body. Would I play that? Double Pally is literally the most overpowered dual leveling comp ever. It feels insane. It feels so double Pally. I would go for the AoE grinding for sure, because single paladins have kind of lackluster single target damage. One Pally goes holy prot. I'll show you the talents. It's insane, dude. It is really, really insane. You can get double that. You can basically judge both Seal of Wisdom and Seal of Light on a target, so you're getting both health and mana back. You can use a different seal yourself. You get double aura. You get double blessings. One person gets Sanctity aura in Retribution, so they'll go down. They'll be like a Holy Ret, and the other guy will be Holy Prot. So one guy's getting Sanctity aura to buff Consecration damage by 10%, and you're just sitting there AoEing stuff together. It's pretty insane. You go on Orc, that's for sure. That much is decided. No matter what class I go, I'm definitely going to go Orc. Orc is just the coolest to me. Are your new class leveling guides going to be uploaded? They haven't been recorded yet. If they were recorded, maybe. But I've been working on the PowerPoints for them for the past couple weeks now. So we're getting closer to that time where it's time to record them. I think once we... I was just really hoping to get some sort of beta. Something out there that I could go and kind of confirm some of the values and confirm how stuff is going to function before I push out this V3. But I don't know. Well, we'll see if we get a beta or not. Had to throw that one out there, just messing with you. Yeah, man. I'm going to get quite a few female gnome rogues ganking me. I'm calling it right now. Hey, North's in here. What's up, dude? Hey, dude. Welcome, dude. North, my man. Good to see you in here, dude. North's coming to my wedding, guys. Big North, right, North, man? You coming to my wedding, dude. We're going to do a IRL stream, hopefully. Talk Druids. We've been talking a little bit of Druids. If you have any questions, guys, about what you're going to personally level, duo leveling, solo leveling, happy to share whatever I know about this game here. Orc rogues are pretty cool. Yep, that's what Perfect Stealth, my man Perfect Stealth loves Orc Rogues. He made a whole video on why he loves Orc Rogues in the class fantasy and all that. When's the big day? It's May 19th. May 19th. So North, T Mugsy if you follow him, Connor from the Discord's coming, Navik, Egregious, Taladriel. There's gonna be a good amount of classic WoW people at the wedding. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be lit, dude. Hell yeah, man. It's gonna be a blast. Can't wait. Yo, North, are you here, North? You want to jump in Discord for a second? I kind of want to ask you something about Mage, if you're around. Going anywhere for the honeymoon? Yeah, man, we're going to Mexico. We're gonna do a big Euro trip and go from country to country, take the Euro rail and do all that. But that'll be for another time. We didn't have too many days off after the wedding, so we're just gonna go on a short trip, 3-4 days, Mexico. Kargoz, do you have any videos, or could you make one on what quests you should do at 60 for decent gear attunements? Yeah, so what I would say to you is, I mean, it's basic logic, right? Once you get to 60 and you're trying to figure out what the order of operations is going to be, what you should hit first, what I would say is you should go find the pieces of Prebis that are guaranteed quest rewards and start there. That should be your starting point. You also really want to establish a source of income, because you don't want to overextend with your gold and then not be in a position to replenish it. So probably establish an income first. Yeah, that'd probably be the play, right? Establish a way to make money. And then after you establish that way, and you know what you're going to do if you run into a situation where you don't have gold, start tackling the quest items for your Prebis. Yeah, Perfect Stealth is the man, dude. He's the man. In before classic surprise drops during the honeymoon, dude. Oh, dude. Oh man, I have cold sweats at nights thinking about that. Blizzard just goes, guys, Classics launching on May 19th. Guys, get ready. We just changed our game plan. I wish you many years of happiness. Oh, thank you, John. Thank you, man. We've been together for 9 years or something at this point, so it's kind of just a formality at this point. But she's a babe. Marry the girlfriend before you ruin your life with classic WoW. Yeah, she's super supportive of this stuff, man. I can't believe she puts up with me. How to make money, be a hunter. Yeah, hunters do pretty good with making money. We're not going to be in a dire mall type environment though, which is kind of a bummer. So you're going to be stuck with Maraudon. But Maraudon's not bad, especially if you get herbalism and you can start getting those ghost mushrooms. Maraudon is really not too bad. You can get like 60 gold an hour, 65 gold an hour. Okay, I'm in your disc. Okay, sweet. We're pulling Big North in here, guys. Big North, dude. Best NA mage. Where he's at. Yo. Yo, can you hear me? Big North? Oh, we got a Twitch Prime sub. Racone GG, subscribe to Twitch Prime. Thank you, man. Welcome to the channel, dude. Your shit is bugged. It's all good. When Kargoz would be screaming, "Honey, get in the car. We're going to the airport." Dude, I don't know what I would do. I'd have to take the biggest L of my life if Classic came out during the honeymoon, man. So Major Hunter best money. See, this is stuff that North could be able to help with. What are the mage's options for farming gold without Dire Maul online? What do you guys think? What's the mage's best bet? I don't know. Maybe Hunter would be superior to mage without DM. I mean, Maraudon is a real consistent, like 60 gold an hour, man. Let's see. Can Warlocks farm any instances? Yeah, Warlocks can actually farm Maraudon as well. You just need some Invis pots, so you can get back some of those Demetrodon packs, or whatever those little Jurassic Park looking things are. If you have an Invis pot, you can get by them. Mages can do Mara as well. Really? They can kill Princess solo? That's crazy. Selling portals. Selling the vending machine? Yeah, they can make some money there. Mara or just AoE farming in the world? Hunter is always superior to mage. You do not need Invispot. What a North thing to say, bro. North, are you in here, bro? We need your help, man. We need your mage expertise. Kargoz, can you just give us the classic release date? Yes. All right. I've been holding out on for you. I got Secret Blizzard Insiders guys. The classic release date. I'll tell you guys right now. I'll pull it up. Classic release date is going to be August 2nd. There you go. You heard it here first, boys. Hey, North, you there? Maybe my Discord output is messed. No. Yo, can you hear me? Hey, what's up, Sheba? What's up, guys? Please watch this. What is this? Call of the Warrior, huh? Definitely. Looks pretty dope. Yeah, we can watch this in a little bit. Trying to get North in here right now. What about for the other classes? I'm currently leveling an Ellie Shaman as my first character and thinking about farming the SM Cath for some money, but how do you think that's going to be for money making? Huh. What are you trying to farm there though? Just you're trying to, kill stuff and vendor it? And sell whatever you get, like BOEs and stuff? Not even a Tuesday. I'm just trolling you. That's not the release date, boys. Have a classic summer. What I'm saying is I do think they have to release it with a month left of summer. If they don't, they were kind of trolling us a little bit. So how are you going to say we have a classic summer and there's like only 2 weeks left, man?
Oh.
Hey, he's there. What's up, dude? Big
I closed and opened my Discord 15 fucking times for this shit to fix.
Nice, dude. Welcome, dude. I haven't caught up with you in a minute. How's your life, dude? How's your life with the Magus?
I've been doing great, man. Dude, did you catch the fucking dueling tournament that we hosted?
I did. I caught some clips from it. Yeah, that hunter guy, what was his name? Track or something?
Track was playing out of his fucking mind.
Legend,
like,
dude.
he actually, I was gonna roll a dwarf hunter, man, and I logged on like at level 10 dwarf hunter that I was like making on Northdale just to fuck around, and I was like, well, delete this, roll night elf.
That's funny, dude. Yeah, congrats on that, dude. That was a big win. I think that was great. Dude.
1,400 viewers, man. Like, it was actually insane. It wasn't on my channel. It was on OG Jeffrey's channel, but maybe we'll.
He's a great caster too. You guys are both sick.
I think we're a great duo because I'm like, I don't know. He's the weed. I'm the Adderall. I don't know. Like, he's he rounds me out well, I think.
Definitely. No, I enjoy his channel.
And I think I have a lot more like technical knowledge, so it helps. And he's like, he's I think he's the better entertainer, and I'm the better player. So it ends up.
So no, I remember watching your stream a few months ago now, and you were saying, and I kind of agreed with you. You were saying, like, if Dire Maul's out, there's really no, if you're really going super try hard, like pretty much the line of play has to be the level of Major or Hunter first. You know what I mean? Like, but there is no Dire Maul. It's not going to be the environment in Phase 1. How does that change things for you?
Well, I mean, thing is right. Phase 2 is going to launch with Dire Maul, and then ranking is going to be out then. It's not going to be out with BWL like we saw before. So, right, I'm going to have to farm up all my gold prior to the great, fiery Armageddon that will be Phase 2.
Right.
So, that changes everything for me, right? Like, I'm not going to, like, it's not going to be mindless. Well, and I wasn't planning on it being mindless grinds. I don't like sitting in Mara or Dire Maul or, Blackrock Depths, whatever it is, for long periods of time. Anyway, I might end up farming BRD depending on what the state of BRD is.
Oh, right, with the
nets.
Yes.
Even without the nets,
that's a private server thing, right? They added that. That was, you think? What do you think about that?
No. The nets were in there. It's just like where the net mobs are.
Oh, okay.
They're not supposed to be all over the place. Nost added more net mobs that were kept. Because you could farm the first room, I think you could avoid some, so it made the BRD farm better. And what the BRD farm is great for is rune cloth. It's instance rune cloth. It's the only like mass source of instance rune cloth, which is the like people are like, oh my god, Devil Thor early on. Devil Thor is a shit money, like first 2 weeks.
What? Why is it shit money?
Because
no one can hold on to it though.
No one's money to buy it. Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great money. It's great money 4 weeks down the line, like a month after launch, 2 months after launch, 3 months after launch, 6 months after launch. Still great money throughout all that time. But a week after launch, it's garbage. You can save that. You can save those leathers, sure, but you need gold to start working early on because everything is dirt cheap early on. Everything is so dirt cheap. So it's like, yeah, you can go spend $1 billion, like a long time farming that gold, but you can just go flip shit on the auction house, stockpiling a bunch of reagents, and be a fucking Scrooge McDuck.
One thing I'm curious your take on too. Oh, by the way, we have a Twitch Prime sub, or no, subscribe to Tier 1 Intensity, dude. Welcome to the channel, man. Thank you, man, for joining. I had a question for you though, man. Like, so there's some kind of value with with the Devil Sword Mafia or Cartel or whatever. There's gonna be some of that for sure. I think come classic, but the opportunity cost of having to show up and defend it and like hold it down, I feel like that is kind of a substantial factor that can really like eat into the margins you're getting. Like if you were a major hunter where you can make gold in an instanced environment by yourself, like what you're saying, does that make the Devil Sword a Mafia like way less attractive, especially if you're just kind of an independent dude,
That's the thing. You can make with Devil Star early in a server, like over if you're being given all the spawns, which only happens like for the kingpins and only happens rarely, you can make over 1,000 gold an hour.
Okay.
Right. So it's like like the upside to it, and then like that so like if it's constantly being camped, right, if sets sell for 500 gold, which is feasible early on, right, like when you're fixing markets, when you're actually defending the price and making sure that it's a controlled market, like very, very controlled, like no one, like you might lose 4 leathers in a week kind of controlled, which has been like we've seen before. It probably won't be that tight, but if that's how tight it is, right, then you're like 1,000 gold an hour is being produced in Unguro, and you just are taking your slice of that and like participating in it. So yeah, like the opportunity cost of defending, sure, but you're doing it on off time. It's still PvP. It's still fun to come out and like wipe people. And it's like kind of this sort of territorial PvP that really doesn't exist anywhere other than Unguro, which is really cool. Which is why Unguro, like people know Unguro really well. Like I know all of the places where you can cross the river as a gnome, because there are only 3 spots where you can cross the river. It's a log, it's in the middle, and then it's on the very, very left. Without dismounting, because so often I've been chased by like 15 dudes being like, get him out of the crate, right? So
makes sense. Another thing I wanted to pick your brain on, man. So you're an Alliance mage, so this applies to you. We've been doing some testing, man, and so what kind of XP per hour benchmarks are you trying to get at 46? Do you have anything that comes to mind up then?
46
ballpark.
Is like ballpark, like I think that's like pirates, but I think that falls like Swamp of Sorrows Murlocs, I know is like supposed to be like 44k an hour.
44K. This is solo uncontested, right? Going super ham north.
That's securing spawns, but that was actually duo. It's 41, so it's not actually that much worse. 46 is what I got uncontested.
All right, so let me explain something to you. I swear,
that's like 42.
I swear to you, dude, this literally happened a couple days ago. All right, okay. We did Prot Holy Paladin and Arcane Mage, and we tried a couple different variations of the mage. We tried one where you kind of splurge. You're going into a bit into Frost to get like the threat reduction stuff, and then a bit into Arcane where you're getting some of like the mana regen talent or whatever, Arcane Meditation. We were sustaining over 100k XP per hour.
I could see that.
It was the nuts north. It was.
Where were you though?
We were in the pirates. We were the pirates, but we were pulling so many pirates, dude. Like
you were just pulling everything, yeah.
Every
that's
pirate.
Paladin. That's that's what you actually can do with it with a healer combo, but like only with Paladin, because of like like there's probably like the big like the compound pull you can really only do with Bubble. I'm guessing. What server did you do it on though?
I was PTR, but pretty much like.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Invulnerabilities on private servers cause range.
We didn't even have to use that, bro. We didn't even use invulnerabilities. This is what we did. We pretty much Paladin runs around with Retribution Aura on while on the mount, right? So you're getting a little bit of threat there. You're pulling them all. You're gathering them all out.
You're getting everything tagged, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, getting everything tagged. The mage was clear cast fishing with rank 1 Blizzard because it doesn't. That's the only thing that can proc it, not Arcane Explosion. He was just doing that while I was gathering them all up.
Wait, he couldn't proc it with Arcane Explosion?
It doesn't work with Arcane Explosion. It's only with Blizzard. But anyway, if you're not hitting anything, if you're just doing it on random shit.
Oh, yeah, the bug where you can fucking have clear casting on nothing, right? Okay,
yeah.
yes.
So he's doing that. I'm gathering all of these up, right? So then, while on the mount, after I get a little bit of chip damage retribution, I switch over to concentration aura immediately, so I have full pushback resistance, right? I drop off the mount, I drop down to consecrate, and immediately start holy lighting myself because I'm taking some massive damage right now, right? So I holy light, consecration's already down, it's ticking, and I heal myself up. Mage at this time is popping arcane power, which is synced up 3-minute cooldown with bop, and he is just annihilating these mobs with arcane explosion. Like, they are getting absolutely chunked, dude. Like, he was doing incredible damage. And sometimes, if we wanted to, we wouldn't even necessarily have to, because I was giving him salvation to have it reduce threat. He was just annihilating these mobs with arcane explosion. But if he was able to get threat off me, I would bop him, 3-minute bop, or I would just precast some heals on him. And he has amplified magic on him, which is increasing the healing even more, man, when you're not worrying about spell damage from the mobs.
Amp is actually insane.
You get increased Amplify Magic. And if you put on Blessing of Light plus Amplify Magic, it was absolutely Nutter Butters north.
So you're going like deep holy for this, yeah?
Well, no, you were going Prot Holy. You just go down to Consecrate. All you need is
Oh, you just going Prot, like Reckoning Consecrate if you can. I don't think you have that by 45, but you'll be close to it.
All you need is you go down in the Holy. You go 5 into Divine Intellect, 5 into Spiritual Focus. You pick up Consecration, and then you just proceed down the Holy Tree pretty much. You know, Read Out, Guardian Favor, Precision, Improve Righteous Fury, Shield Specialization.
I'm not actually sure. Here's the thing. I'm not actually sure what Pirate XP is supposed to be. And here's my only the only real issue I think that presents. I think that it's good. Like, that's a duo that I have like played around with actually leveling. I'm gonna end up just going. I'm going mage.
Yeah.
Because I think mage is just the same thing but better. Because of the PvP potential, like it definitely you can't do. You have to be a lot more precise when you go for those huge pulls.
Exactly. I was just about to say that.
As mage, like it's much harder, I think. But like the mages that I'm gonna be playing with are really good mages, so it should be fine. That being said, wait. So what do you make? How far do you make it down in Prot?
Oh, by 46? If you see the stream, you can see it right now. This is 41, so we pretty much had. But what we actually end up doing is like.
If you make it to Sank, that's actually sick.
Oh, totally, yeah. I mean, this is. Really at 20, you can start AoE grinding really reliably because you have improved Righteous Fury. I mean, well, you have Righteous Fury, not improved, and you have Consecration. Like, you're able to very consistently.
You have a couple stacks of Reckoning then, because you're 41. Like, you start Pirates at like 42.
We were totally disregarding the Reckoning package in preparation for Classics. So we were just assuming we're not going to get the Sit Proc Reckoning. I mean, you could still get Reckoning, but you're.
No, I mean, Reckoning would still, like, in the situation that you have, right? Like, especially with that's still good.
Right. We also got Healing Light here, so we increased the amount healed by Holy Light and Flash of Light. So imagine a world where you have improved Amplify Magic, which at this rank is giving like 100 bonus healing, plus Blessing of Light, plus Healing Light, and you have pushback resistance, so you can just heal yourself freely. You were able to sustain through a colossal amount of mobs, dude. We were we at the high end, we were doing 140k XP per hour, and at the low end, we were sustaining 100k.
Yeah. Healing duo for mage. I think it's like unequivocally, it just seemed like it allows you to do some really creative things as well, like the BRD farm, for instance. Like, you actually can do that you can do such big pulls. So I think like instance, that's a very untapped potential at the end. It doesn't really matter at the end, though. That's the thing, because you just start farming random shit for money, because the XP doesn't really end up mattering after 56, when you can start getting consistently large sources of rune cloth, because it's like the rune cloth bags. People fucking sleep on runecloth bags. Runecloth bags are actually the best source of money early on. This is the I never knew how to make a shit ton of money on launch. I was so slow getting my epic mount. The first 2 servers that I played on, the third server, I just was a tailor. I just was at Dawson Steers. I got a gajillion stacks of runecloth. Just made runecloth bags all day long. It took forever, right? It actually took the physical amount of time that it took to make all those bags was a lot. But each one was selling for 6, 7, 8 gold each at one point, because people are desperately in need of bags.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about
Mage Weave? Actually, it's not that common. The window for Mage Weave is actually smaller than you might think. And there's actually a lot more readily available runecloth, because then you have there are more mobs open for it. Pirates are a really good source of Mage Weave, but Pirates are actually that it's a fucking honey trap, man. It never actually ends up working out for you. It's always actually shit, because if anyone else comes in there, it's so easy to grief Pirates. Same faction or opposite faction, it's just so easy to grief Pirates that it almost never ends up, unless you're actually the first, second, or third mage, never ends up being worth it. I think it's uncontested though, it is 80 85 to 90k an hour.
It's solo,
I think
right?
duo there would be faster.
It was
I think duo there would
100,
be.
bro. It was 100k. I never saw this before. I actually think it's probably behind Double Mage, the best god tier AOE grinding. But I'm really curious on your thoughts on the Arcane tree, man. Like, is it a meme or is it not? Because we also tried basically doing a combination of Frost and Arcane. So you're going down Frost deep enough to get Frost channeling.
It's not a meme at all.
Okay, you don't think so?
It's not. You actually like you put one mage in Arcane in a duo mage. Like you put one mage full Arcane.
Aren't these talents sick though, dude? Arcane meditation, like improved Arcane explosion. Like these are so good,
improved
dude.
Arcane explosion's really good.
Presence of Mind Flame Strike, dude. It was awesome, man.
Presence of Mind Palm Flame Strike is kind of a meme. Like I really wanted to get behind Palm Flame Strike. Actually, I was kind of mad. I was trying like Palm Frost for a long time, just like in PvP.
What if you get clear casting though, man, and you just Palm Flame Strike? Because it doesn't eat up Presence of Mind. You know, if you're just fishing for it and you get it, you just Palm.
That's
Flame
actually,
Strike.
I mean, you could just Flame Strike though. It's like the Palm Flame Strike itself is not, you know, like Flame Strike's a good spell, but it like really relies. I think it's a better spell power scaler. That's like the biggest thing about Flame Strike is that it actually scales really well with spell power, and the base damage is not that great. You need to keep them in the same spot. It can be good, but it also breaks, like it is periodic damage, so it does break CCs. So it's just like it can be rough with Nova, which is annoying. But Arcane, like going Arcane power, like full Arcane power is like actually worth for one mage in a duo mage comp.
Yeah, it seems sick, man. I mean, I didn't really realize
having the silence in PvP as well is huge against other mages because no one will have it. So if you have a duo mage comp and you have a silence, it's huge early on.
We were calculating the DPS difference between Arcane Explosion and Blizzard, and it's over double as much damage. Also, it can crit too. You know what I mean? Like it does insane damage. Arcane Explosion,
and you have no crit, but right, you have the crit talent there. Like you have an actual fucking crit talent to work for you. Well, so it's pretty nuts. You know, Cone of Cold Shatters are also nice, but you get this synergy then where you can use one cone to one Nova from one mage to actually, one Nova from one mage to.
Remember when you were telling me back in the day that you didn't even necessarily need Ice Barrier that badly if you're playing really well? A part of me is thinking, like, what if you went double Arcane Mage? Like, would it just be the nuts?
The slows are worse. You can do it there again, but it's like they're even like I think it would be like if the damage were really actually pushing you forward, right? But you do want efficient spells sometimes. Like you do want, like Blizzard is, you know, as much as it's damage heavy or damage light, it's mana efficient. First damage, whereas Arcane Explosion is very mana inefficient.
But it's faster, so you can just get the drinking right after. You can just kill them like over double as fast. You know what I mean?
It depends. So like so it depends on what spot you end up having. It depends on whether or not defense will actually promote the number of mobs you can kill. So sometimes defense will promote it. Like Ice Barrier will be good, right? Like I said, you don't need Ice Barrier. You don't need Ice Barrier ever really for solo. It's helpful. You don't need it. But it is a good talent. But for duo, you kind of do need one mage with the barrier because you're going to be doing such fat pulls that you will need that protection. Because you even with like a mage armor and an arcane a barrier, you're still going to need to, you know, like strafe to make sure that you don't get dazed because both of those barriers are going to go off if you're making the pulls that are big enough to make it worth it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you do think you do need barrier, but like going down to Arcane Meditation.
Oh, someone in your chat keeps asking why I switched to Night Elf from Dwarf. Stoneform is great against rogues, but hunters already like fuck rogues. Like they can trinket the stun and then just like kite. And then they have like dots for the rogue. Plus they have flare, right? Like they're very strong against rogue. Yes, it's nice against the blind. Yes, it's nice against the viper sting. That being said, if you carry around elixirs of poison resistance, like another hunter viper stinging it would be the situation in which you like Stoneform is actually very useful. But bleed's not too good, right? And the thing about Night Elf is that when you feign death, you can feign death, get off a shot, and then as the shot's in the air, you can shadow meld. So you have two spell cancels. One of the biggest problems of Hunter is they have no interrupt that isn't scatter, and scatter is really short range. So given that you have no scatter, at long range, you can actually use the feign. Like you could feign, trap, auto shot, multi-shot, and then I'm not sure if you can multi-shot actually. I think multi-shot might put you into combat immediately, but you can auto shot and then meld again and drink. And so you can do really cool things as well. Like you can cloaking device into a meld. So you can essentially like vanish and then be invisible. So you do have a lot of high IQ sort of, like outplay potential with the Night Elf. There's more raw power of the dwarf. No worries. There's more raw power with the dwarf, right? Because like if you're gonna brute force someone, right, rogue blinds you, you're like, ah, fuck you, man, I'm the god, right? And like you just keep going. But hunters can afford to use skull as well. Like they're not a skullless class, you know, they're not a warrior. They don't really loathe to put on the skull. Yeah, you probably might have a two-hander that might be really sick. But hopefully you have a one-hander to pair with your skull for situations in which you really need that. So the night elf actually is like, and I wanted to play dwarf. I really wanted to play dwarf, but after seeing how smooth it was and just how much finesse actually granted you so much power on the night elf, I swapped. Shadow meld is good. Yeah. So shadow meld and eat, right? Like you can shadow meld eat. Like he was resetting so many times in these fights where, you know, you reset, you can like find ways to like, you know, people have to try and get you out of stealth with cooldowns, right? Like if they're a class like a shaman, how's a shaman gonna get you out of stealth? They have to walk up to you and put a fire nova totem down. Like they can't do that. Like that's just like, that's so hard for them. And you sit there and then like as they put down the fire nova totem, you're still out of combat. You drop a freezing trap when they stand on top of you, and you just fucking you saunter off. You know, you're just like like look at me, I'm a night elf. Like, you know, it's
That's funny, dude.
You can't. People say that you can shadow meld aim shot to ambush people. Yeah, you can do that. It will bring you out of stealth. Okay. I thought the Vire. Some people say that, you know, it keeps you in stealth for the cast. It doesn't, and he says that. Like I was worried that was another person saying that it doesn't take you out of stealth. But yeah, you do get that. You know, you get to catch people off guard. You know, you know, like, and that's a huge part of what makes Hunter really good. Plus, you can sit in Shadow Meld with Cat's Eye goggles on and Cat's Eye Elixir with track hidden on, and you can actually see rogues from 15 yards away.
No,
like,
dude, that's bullshit. No way. Is that true?
You have all the stealth effect up. You can actually see rogues in Shadow Meld like from 15 yards away. So you're sitting there, you're a fucking invisible turret. You know, like you're like 500 IQ sitting there. And yeah, the dwarf looks great, and its little feet like pad along, being like, you know. For Cosmo, that right, you know, but you know,
the cinematic though, man, nice. The cinematic, dude, overdone.
The cinematic is so sick. I hate myself for that. I hate it. It's like I'm like actually like I know how much better it is. I'm like gonna play. I'm gonna like practice both, but I just hate that the min maxer in me is just being like, North, you have to do this.
On the major, I have to ask you, bro. So are you going to Arcane to start though together?
No, Frost to start.
Really? Explain.
Frost to start, yeah.
Explain.
Elemental precision for the Nova is pretty key for.
Okay, that makes sense. But
I actually might be. Here's the thing.
Wait. What about Arcane Subtlety though? That's all your spells. Resistance to all your spells. There's some kind of hit component.
Low
there, right?
level mobs don't have resists, pretty much. Like those. That's true on private servers. I'm curious to test. Like on the beta that.
But you have double Nova. That's the thing, though, man. I don't
know. Wait, what?
I'm just saying, like, if you were to do a level 2 mages, you'll have 2 Novas in case one fails, right? I don't know.
That's true, but if you want to actually make a good pull, so this is like the pre-14 strat. So this is the pre-Blizzard strat. So it's like the level 14 strat, which is really, really finicky. And any death, like, will actually cause you to lose a lot of time early on. So it's like no deaths are, like, you know, it's a no deaths allowed kind of thing. Arcane Concentration is going to reduce your downtime for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's not. It's kind of about the pull size. Like while you're in the west of Westfall, trying to gather up a shit ton of nulls. Like Nova is just so integral to actually function. You really are bouncing on a razor's edge because it's like health in that situation is a resource that will get you more mobs.
Mm-hmm.
So if your ice armor gets resisted, even right, like that's the thing as well. Ice armor can get resisted. Like when you hit someone, like that ice armor can resist. That resisting is also really, really bad because the strat relies on the slow from that.
Okay.
This isn't third place hunter from yesterday. I'm not the third place hunter from yesterday. I'm talking about the third place hunter from yesterday, though.
Track.
Yeah, Track is absolutely insane. He's hosting a Cyclops tournament as well.
That's
and if
crazy.
you guys wanna fucking, you guys should fucking join. Like go find fucking either my or OG Jeffrey's channel if you guys are interested in that like fucking dual shit, because we're gonna be doing like a lot of smaller tournaments as well. Like we're gonna just like tomorrow we're gonna try and throw together like a quick like 16-man bracket and just teleport people to an interesting spot like in somewhere in on Hen House because we have GM accounts, and just like have a little impromptu tournament like for like gift subs or something. We have no idea what we're gonna roll for.
Let me ask somebody say too. Do you think this would be cool? Like, you've ever seen this thing on retail they do where they have like teams of 5, but they it's dueling though. Like so, you hop into the arena and then you fight to the death, and if the guy's still alive, he fights the next guy till he dies, and then the next guy jumps in. You ever seen that? So like you pretty much have a team of 5, right? And you have to kind of craft your strategy around that. So, you know, let's say the first people up is rogue mage, and then you win, but you're like 30% health, you know? And then the next guy comes in, and you have to try and fight him and chip him down as much as you can, or try and reset or whatever, and take him down. And it's basically 5v5, whoever wins. And you do it in like Gurubashi or something like that. It would be.
That's actually kind of sick.
It would be sick, yeah.
Okay,
I want to start doing those.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that. It's gonna be so fun. Yeah, dude. We're gonna go hard with the PvP. Come classic. I'm so excited.
Yeah, there are some mobs that do have high resist though. Mighty Raven Dark was pointing that out. There are mobs with high resists. So there are like the Silver Pine wargs that you try and Worgen that you try and AoE early as a mage. They have high frost resist, so that actually can help with the Arcane Subtlety can help. I haven't min-maxed that though, to be honest. Like I don't know what the talents would be there because I don't give a flying fuck about Horde. Like I really couldn't be fucked.
Yeah.
To theory craft undead leveling again. Like I did it once.
There's a really sick spot in the Barrens with the tigers though, man. Like
Tigers, Savannah lines.
Savannas.
If you're a troll, the Savannah like that was my first. That's what I thought, like when I, like when Kenny Marsh, who was the mage who first introduced me to early AoE leveling, he was AoE leveling prior to 20, and I didn't know it was possible. And I poked at him, and he was like, oh, I can't tell you. And I was like, what are the Savannah lines? And he said, no, it wasn't Savannah lines, but I thought about that. It's just a really long walk for an undead mage.
Yeah.
Early on, because you will lose a lot of downtime. So like if you're a troll mage, I think it's actually such a fantastic idea. But if you're a troll mage, right, like should you be playing World of Warcraft?
What? Yo, get out of here, dude. Troll mages are sick. I gotta tell you something else too that was really sick too. So we were doing duo mage leveling, like outside of the starting zone. We linked up, and it was like we were like level 6 or so. And I don't know why I had some like misconception in my mind that mages were kind of a slow 1 to 10 comparatively to some other classes. I now really do not feel that way. But anyway, the thing we were doing was that we were basically cycling through who is using mana, who is a mana user for the mob. So one guy would be dumping mana, while one guy would just be getting value from their melee weapon and regenerating per the 5-second rule, right? So just getting up in personal, and we would go back and forth like this, and we really never had to drink. You know what I mean? This is an inherent acceleration of duo leveling. Whereas opposed if you were to stagger your spells, you're more susceptible to overkilling, and you'll eventually just whittle your resources down over time because you're both just like not getting any value from that 5-second rule, if that makes sense. So
actually, a really good strat that I'm toying with is early pyro. Because people like, depending on how the AoE leveling goes, like depending on what the actual respawns are, there's a lull from like level 20 to it's after level 23 or 24 till like 28. So
23, 24 to 20. Okay.
Because you don't have Hillsbrad farmers as a so there's no real good spot after the Moosehide Knolls from like 24 to 28 as a Alliance mage. There are places that you can make work, but it's like only one mage can make it work. So if you have a duo mage, I think it's actually better to go here's the thing that's nuts. Pyro is only good because it's a shit ton of regen, which is the most ass backwards thing that I've ever had to go through.
100%.
So you only out of combat, you only out of combat pyro. But if you have two mages pyroing a mob, right? Essentially, right, like the only time, it'll almost one shot the mob. You fire blast the mob and then it's dead.
Yeah.
Right. If you both fire blast, you both pyro the mob, and then you go to the next mob and you start pyroing, and you're already so essentially you're regenning over half the time.
Oh yeah.
Because most of you're in for one global, and then you go to the next mob. So it's actually really
the inverse of that is also true though, North. So one thing is when you look at Fire Blast on a surface level and you say, okay, the DPME is not super great, but then you realize that you have to factor in a tick and a half of regen, a tick and a half of spirit-based regen as opposed to casting something, right? Because the 5-second rule will only start after you complete a Frostbolt or a Fireball. The fact that you can use a Fire Blast off the back end of a spell instantly will get you faster to that regen. So
exactly.
Once you factor that in, it's much cheaper than a lot of other stuff. And channeling spells suffer in the sense that the 5-second, you'll only start working towards that 5-second rule after the channel completes, which is such a bummer, man. That's
actually not true. That's actually not true. So
It's true on the PTR.
I'm not sure what PTR you're on for arcane missiles and most like the channeled spells that I am aware of. I'm not sure Blizzard. I don't think Blizzard works this way, but arcane missiles, only the first part is considered the cast. Like it's weird. You do get regen. Actually, wait. Am I wrong here? Whoa. Wait,
Right. I mean, just think about stuff like Hellfire. Like, you're
Let
not
me
going to start
think.
regenerating mana when you Hellfire. You know what I mean? Or like you're not just
You
sitting
know
there
what it is? You know
Hellfire.
what it is? It's only when you get a proc that it's not considered a cast.
When you get
It's not a use of mana.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when you clear cast, I'm wrong. I'm like thinking of like the fucking early MC strats where you arcane missiles to conserve on mana, but it's only when you get a clear casting proc. So yes, you were 100% correct.
Yeah,
Channel spells are bad for that reason.
It's bad for that reason.
Agreed.
But one thing that's interesting
I'm
though,
like forgetting.
do you think it's Blizz like that each missile can proc clear casting?
Yes.
It is, right? Okay, so that's a unique interaction.
Each missile can proc like all things like that. That's the thing about arcane missiles. Like each one is considered its own spell. So like it like each one can proc a Mark of Cenarius, which is the ring from Exalted with Cenarian Hold, like that as a proc. So like on hit procs, of which there are very few in vanilla for spells, work like 5 times through arcane missiles because each one is considered a spell.
Oh, interesting. That's very interesting. So you think you're going to go one arcane, one frost then, huh? As far as mage.
Yes. Or like I'm on Grizzly PTR. We're gonna test next week the double fire strat. So the double fire strat from 24 to 28. Because we also don't I don't want to fuck my other the other mages in my guild, like who are a little behind me. Like by occupying Moss Hide for longer than I need to. Because that's just it's just a bad use of resources. Because I'll be it's like, do I want to level to 28 at Moss Hide? I can level to 27, right? But it's just it's not good, and it's like a waste of XP compared. It's actually less XP per mob for me than it is for them, and I need more per level. So if I can figure out a way to make it so that I go into a zone that's essentially still you boost up with the early AOE, you go back to single target for 3 levels, and then you return to AoE grinding. I think that might be the way forward for mage.
Okay.
I think people are resistant to doing that.
It seems a little bit something that you would really just have to experience would really tell you that. You know what I mean? It's hard to.
Yeah.
I have a question. It may sound stupid though, but I've never seen any mages experiment with this. So are you familiar with the talent Magic Absorption?
Wait, Ztox. It's not backwards. It does. Each one does proc arcane missiles. Like each one does proc the clear casting off of it. Do you think do you have video proof that that's not true?
Wait, no.
I remember watching where I mostly just reference Vertney videos for literally everything that I like mechanic wise that I look up. And it's I have never seen, for instance, people are like, oh yeah, you can reflect casts in midair. Never seen that in a Vertney video. I only see it procced before the cast actually finishes. So that's why I'm of that opinion. When people are like, oh, it can proc in midair, with the reflector. I don't think that works that way. I never had it work that way in vanilla either. I only had a frost reflector, so I didn't reflect a lot of things in vanilla, because that was the only one I get my hands on, because they weren't from a dungeon and I was 9 years old. But Clear Eyes and Tooltip says whenever a spell does damage. That's the thing. Each tick, that's not it's not actually true though. That whenever it does damage isn't actually true. Blizzard doesn't.
A lot of these tooltips are a little bit wonky, right?
The tooltips are wonky. But my understanding of arcane missiles is that each one is actually a spellcast.
I have a question for you, man. So are you familiar with Magic Absorption, this talent? It's a very strange talent.
Yes.
Very strange talent. Okay. So have you ever thought about this, man? So let me rank it to 5 so I can read it to the chat. Let me see what you think about this. All right. So increases all resistances by 10 and causes all spells you fully resist to restore 5% of your mana 1 second cooldown.
So you're thinking mana battery with the resist set?
No. Well, that could be a thing too, but I'm thinking, what if you fought mobs that were kind of low level and that were casters, so you had a pretty high ass chance to resist?
It's good for, so that's really good for elemental farming, actually. It becomes a mana battery for, especially since the cooldown's pretty low. If you go into Western Arathi Highlands and you go on the fire elementals, even on level, not even when you're out leveling them, even on level, with mage armor and magic absorption, as well as dampen.
What if you had Pally Aura too, yo?
Yeah, Pally or there as well. There's not a lot of
mean?
mobs there. That's the only issue, right?
Oh,
Like it
okay,
will
okay.
matter you, but like there's not enough mobs really to make that work. That's why the duo is like nice, but sometimes it fucks you because you
Yeah.
don't have some spots that are nice.
Yeah.
And there really aren't any elemental spots that have enough to make that worth it with the paladin. So like as much as that, like
What about like
theoretically
Blood
would be a
Elves and
nice range deck, it doesn't
Ajara
work.
or something like that? You know, they all cast and stuff. Like, and if you were to go to them and you were a few levels higher.
Well, how level high aren't they? Kind of high.
Yeah, they're
Shrine?
like 51 or something like that. Maybe I don't know off the top of my head.
I mean, like it
I'm just
probably
playing
would be
with
fine
it.
for like solo grinding, but yeah, I think the idea, like a fire resist set with fire elemental farming. There's not a lot of fire elementals to farm outside of the invasion in Ungoro. So having a fire resist set with this magic absorption, this is actually something that I tooled with on Northdale, which was a lot of fun. Was having a couple of like high value fire resist pieces as well as stacking whatever I could from like early tier gear for fire resist, so that I had around like 100 fire resist unbuffed. And with magic absorption, it actually did make it like I was trying to farm like 3 spots of mobs, so it did make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
That being said, I tried to it was less efficient actually to it was mostly for the hits of the mobs. It wasn't really for the mana battery effect because they have a blast wave that would be the thing that you would resist because they have spells and they resist. You can't resist the autos. You can resist the damage taken, but you can't resist the autos, I don't think. I could be wrong there, but I'm fairly certain that that's the case. So you don't actually get a lot of resist from these mobs unless they're casting, but these Ungoro mobs do cast. So, and it will be a great source of elemental fire because I doubt they're going to change it in Classic WoW. And that's going to be one of the things, right? I don't expect to see a lot of consume usage from like vis-a-vis flasks, but greater fire protection potions there will be a lot of, and there will not be a lot available to grind, especially without dynamic spawns. So I think that the Ungoro elemental invasions will actually be a great source of income.
Interesting. Yeah, I just love how these duo levelings, when you start opening the doors to duo leveling, all these talents that are normally just such memes, become stuff you can actually consider,
I think that's what's the coolest part about duo leveling. It's the sick shit that actually ends up working
yeah.
that otherwise wouldn't be good, right? Arcane's actually not people meme on Arcane, but like it's and I meme on T Muggsy for liking Arcane like early on, but he's still wrong, right? But it's not as bad as people say it is.
Like, yeah, some of these talents, I'm surprised they're pretty good, man. Like this freaking arcane meditation, dude, that's so sick.
Mighty Raven, the only real answer, like, pick what keybinds work for you. The only real suggestions I have in terms of mage keybinds, man, is bind your fucking CS to mouse wheel up. That's literally the only thing. Like bind scroll in and out, like to like shift mouse wheel up or something. So shift up and down. But like mouse wheel up, I would bind to CS. Mouse wheel down, I would bind to consume mana gem. Those are the actual. And then like I would bind Blizzard, Sheep, and wait, what's the other one? There's Blizzard, Sheep, and one more that you really need to have. What am I? Blizzard, Sheep, Cone of Cold, and Frost Nova. Those abilities, you have to have those on easy keys. Everything else doesn't really matter, but like Blizzard, Frost Nova, Cone of Cold, and Sheep, you need on very readily available keybinds. Like I have my Sheep is Q now. Like I constantly change my fucking keybinds. But like I would avoid, people tend to put like really important keybinds for Frostbolt, for instance, or like Fireball, right? But do you really need those to be super accessible? They're on the global cooldown, they're long casts. It's not like it's going to change a fight if you can immediately press the Fireball. It's typically not. Sometimes it will, and you do want it accessible. You don't want it, you don't want it to be on fucking question mark, like that would shift like fucking / like that's not a good option. But have it accessible, but it's not as important as other things. Sheeping immediately in a dungeon in PvP will actually change the outcome. Sheeping or blizzarding early after a rogue vanishes will change the outcome. Blizzarding early in a battleground on top of the druid will change an outcome. Frostbolting right before, not going to be super effective. Having the rank 1 accessible though. Frostbolt is still very important, so you should have it very accessible. But like Fireball, does that need to be really easy to press? Not so much.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, the CS is like one of the most time sensitive things you can even do.
See, and then that's why I have CS on. CS should be scroll up because like you need to if you sneeze, you should be able to CS like from across the map, right? It's Because it's off the global cooldown as well. That's why I keep Mana Gem on scroll down, because Mana Gem is also off the global cooldown. So keeping a mind for, okay, if I need to be, and the only other thing, and I won't linger on this, if you realize that you have to press multiple keys at the same time, make sure you can press those keys at the same time. Like, I used to not be able to blast wave while I used a Goblin Sapper charge, and then I realized, fuck, right? I have to change these keybinds because I cannot press Sapper.
We
and
found the
blast wave
best
at the same
modifier,
time.
by the way. It's going to change the whole game. North. I'm not even joking. It's actually not even an ironic statement. Foot pedal, dude.
The foot pedal, yeah, dude, foot pedals.
Foot pedal. Can we actually do that?
Dude, I'm honestly saving up for a foot pedal right now. I'm saving up money for the road trip first, but after road trip money comes in,
Get the foot pedal, dude. What I would say is, like, if it's good enough for Mozart and fucking Bach to make a concerto without APMs, dude, it's good enough for classic WoW, dude. Like, foot pedal seems amazing.
Foot pedals are high IQ too, and they make it so that you can't like jitter around as much. Like, you have to locked in, so like you're hyper gaming. Like you're
double your keyboard. You literally double your keyboard, man, with foot pedal.
I don't think I wouldn't use it as a, I think using it as a modifier would be interesting. I'm not a huge fan. I use an extra modifier. I use caps lock as control shift. Because you can have, so I have another modifier on my keyboard, so I don't find really the need to do that. But I think if you could use it, that's the thing. Like, you actually need a key for the modifier. So like you need a combination of keys. And the annoying thing about in WoW clients, I'm not sure if this will be in the case in Classic WoW, but in vanilla, like 112, when you control shift and then use a key, it makes it so that it puts you into steer mode. So you're like, when you
shift?
move.
Oh man, that's kind of
Control shift is caps lock, so I don't actually control shift.
I see. Okay.
But when you press a key combination that is control and shift, it makes it so that if you start moving your mouse, then it moves your camera around, so you have to like click an extra time after it. It's kind of fucky. So I started keybinding more shit to my mouse.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Did you ever think about grinding
a cleared in week one?
Some people are trying
one guild. I think one guild will do that. I think like 1, 2, 3 guilds will do that. My guild is not.
You need eye tracker binds. That's some Stephen Hawking shit, dude. You're literally like a maestro. Like, your foot's fucking hitting this pedal, and you have eye key binds, and yeah, that's the ultimate metaphor.
How do you think Sush keeps winning the fucking dueling tournament, man? He's got eye key binds.
That's funny, dude. Have you thought about grinding elites while leveling with duo? Or are you just gonna go for the regular spots, you think? I think it could be good, man. There's some spots, like outside of ZF, bunch of elites there. You might be able to reach those breakpoints with double mage.
Wait, where?
I'm saying if you're killing AoE grinding elites, I wonder if that's gonna be valuable, as double mage.
Wait, sorry.
I'm saying AoE grinding elites, like outside of dungeons and stuff like that. There's some spots like outside of ZF. There's a bunch of trolls chilling outside of there.
No, not worth it.
As double mage even? Okay.
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's so much time invested for those kills. I just don't think you have the money to support it. But Paladin Mage in BRD, late BRD, I think that is potential.
Yeah.
Because what you can do actually is there are mobs in the Cauldron, if you're familiar with the Cauldron in Searing Gorge, that net. These slavers, they net. You can actually pull a lot of them because you have the slaves and the slavers. And you can pull a lot of mobs so long as you have a paladin. And it's like actually like a really long, winding place. So actually you can kind of do the loop and then go down to the bottom and then just like reset. So it actually works really well. I was practicing that with a paladin. I think that's very, very worth it. So Paladin Mage, actually a really good combo, especially early on when no one can get out of sheep other than a Paladin. Paladin is the only class that will be able to get out of sheep that isn't a mage. So, because no PvP trinkets will be in the game until phase 2.
Yep.
So mages are going to be dude. My sheep is going to be fucking overpowered as shit because no one on Horde will be able to get out of my fucking sheep, man.
You bastard, dude. That's true.
And no one gets out of it.
No one gets out of no sheeps until Dire Maul comes out.
Phase 1, I will be a god among men.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Alliance Warlocks too, man. Fucking having to deal with Will of the Forsaken and Undead and everything and having no trinket to fall back on.
Oh my god, wait. Tips Out apparently is talking shit about me.
For
I
real?
have to go clear my
Man.
name. Tribe posted a video of me when we were practicing when I was like a meme spec. He fucking played Tribe. That's fucking, man. That's actually annoying. I was literally playing. I didn't have barrier against a warrior, and he was using FAP and not every time he was using Rec. He was using Rec sometimes. It was kind of annoying, right? Like if he got like pressure, he would use Rec. So like I wasn't even sure what he was doing every time. Anyway, he was using Helmet and Potion and 30-minute cooldowns, and I wasn't using any potions or Helmet or like really like I wasn't even using Title Charm. He was using Title Charm and like Helmet, fucking FAP, and 30-minute cooldowns on me, and I was trying to beat him as my meme spec because I was like go as ham as you can. I'm gonna see if like having Palm with Frostier and the Ice Block actually makes a difference. And the issue is that the warrior just gets too much rage on you because you don't have that consistent damage reset in the form of the barrier.
Makes sense. All right. Well, I was gonna wrap up the stream here, man. I appreciate your time today, bro. Always good catching up with you. Streaming for a little while
Looking
here.
forward to the wedding, dude. Should be fun.
Hell yeah, dude. We should do an IRL stream once you get over here. It'll be a lot of fun.
But I mean, we will. We're streaming the whole road trip, dude. It's gonna be hype as fuck.
That's super hype. That's super hype.
It's gonna get real. It's gonna get weird, dude. It's gonna
Are
get
you
weird.
streaming right now? Can I host you, or are you?
No. I'm not streaming.
Okay.
Wait, streaming.
Who should I host? Do you have any opinions? I don't really know too many people on Twitch.
Zeri is streaming, but he's like a. I mean, if you want to like, I don't know if he'll be playing classic. He's like a bigger WoW streamer. Like, and he only starting his
a classic, dude. How about
Steezy streaming, Yes Master streaming, Egg is streaming, but like none of these people are like proper. Like they don't actually care that much about content creation. You dig?
Right.
Lazy Pockets is on.
Oh, Lazy Pockets.
Lazy Pockets is a cool dude. I like Lazy Pockets.
Yeah, guys. We're gonna drop the stream on Lazy Pockets. He's a good guy. He's a nice dude. Go say hi to him. Give him a shot. North also. It's North the Mage on Twitch. I'm sure you guys know North, man. He's bigger than Twitch than me. So, but if you don't know North, check him out. He's doing lots of PvP stuff.
You have more followers than me, bro. I think you have more followers than me.
Oh, really?
You're fucking YouTube famous, man. I'm just a little boy over here, fucking
Nah, dude.
tournaments, bro. But
oh man,
one day, man, one day.
All right, man. It's gonna be an era, dude. It's gonna be an era. So we're gonna end the stream here, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with me today. I'll be back tomorrow with more classic content. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.